that shit.
But yeah, exactly. But at the end of the day, you ain't taking shit. That's gonna sit right there. You're not gonna fucking touch it because I will break your fucking hand to make this time worth it. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now that you know I ain't got a friend named Rico, and I don't want one. So therefore,
Yep.
you don't need to know nothing about nothing because I don't know nobody. I ain't never seen them.
They know anyway. I couldn't believe that when I got to Daytona. I said, "Oh, those."
Yep.
Holy fuck.
It doesn't even matter if you keep everything off of social media 100%, they will find out. You know, if they really want to know, they will absolutely find out.
Listen, one of the presidents of the dominant in my state passed away a few years ago. Right? Bad car accident. I mean, it's horrible. Good dude. You know, we're at the wake, and it's a international organization, so there were guys from all over the world there. And of course, every alphabet was there taking pictures. I'm sitting there going, "Hi."
Yep.
Make sure you get my best side.
They're taking 180, photos within one snapshot.
I couldn't believe the camera setups they had, man.
It's insane. It's insane. It's actually mind blowing. Like the resources they put into this shit, it's mind blowing.
They had me ID before I got out of the vehicle.
This is a wake and funeral. I mean, have they no respect?
No, they don't. They don't. They don't care.
And they don't care what we do. As long as we're riding on our twos, even if we've got a mom and pop cut on, we're going to get nailed one way or another because that's their narrative. That's how they get their money. That's how they sit there and keep controlling us.
Yeah.
And as you were saying earlier, they want us to fight. They want us to be discordant against each other. They want us to sit there and hate each other.
True.
And it's like, man, like you were saying earlier, the clubs are fighting, it's like, who gives a fuck? 90% of the people that are on the set today don't even know what the fuck they're fighting for.
Bingo. And I know the history, and I wasn't even part of those organizations, but I made it my business to know the history of why they were fighting.
I know all. I've been around since I was a kid. I grew up in the diamond set. That's me. That's who I came from, was the diamond set. Because when I was a kid, they sat there and they helped me. They saved my ass when I was in dire need.
Yep.
I would wake up and I'd see a diamond right here on the vest. They would sit there and take me out to be saved. They hid me when I needed to. And
that shit's there and I don't hide it.
Yeah. And I learned young what the beefs were, how this was, and I was around
Got a few
back
of them.
then when a lot of these fights were starting. And I'm sitting there going, dudes, we can get along. We can sit there and do this. You're fighting over turf. There's thousands of miles of roads that we can all explore on and have a good fucking time. Who cares what you got in the back?
Or how about we go back to old school biker days where we all meet up at a campground, camp out, ride all day, come back, drink, cook out, have a great party.
That's what I signed up for. Exactly.
Pass out.
Yeah.
And get up and do it all over again the next day.
I was all about that.
Like that scene he did in the Bike Riders movie.
And see, that's my mentality right there. That's my mentality. It's like, I don't care what cut you've got on.
Right.
As long as you're cool with me, I'm going to be cool with you.
Equal
But if you act like a frog, I'm going to make sure you jump off that lily pad because I'll knock you the fuck out.
I'm sorry, but if you let a set of rags, cuts, whatever you call it, vests, if you let any colors come between you and helping that bro that you see sitting on the side of the road,
no,
you're a dumbass.
Yeah,
you're a dumbass if you play that game.
Yeah,
you ain't a fucking biker. So with that
I
mentality,
got in trouble. when I was a prospect because I was on my way to Friday night open house, and there was a guy from another club that wasn't part of the coalition
Mhm.
broke down on the side of the road. I pulled over and helped him. Rerouted his throttle cable broke, so I rerouted his return cable to his throttle cable so he can at least get to his clubhouse and get home. So I was late as a prospect, and I got in trouble for it. I got 90 more days.
Look,
And I said, you know
Wow.
what? You're going to give me 90 days for helping out a biker? Well, he
That's
was from
insane.
the other side of the street. I don't give a fuck.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you guys something I haven't told before. Okay, so this one time I was riding with the Diamond Club, and we were riding from LA to their clubhouse, from LA to their clubhouse in Vegas. And I unfortunately on that ride crashed. You know what I mean? It was rough. I buried my whole, and I'm amputated by the, mind you. You know what I mean? I buried this bike underneath a 4Runner. It was terrible. You know what I mean? But anyways, as we were like loading this up, I'm with this Diamond Club, and their opposition that is all green lighted at that very moment rolls up in an entire pack. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh man, here it goes. I'm already all completely covered in blood. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm barely like anything here, but I you know, I'm kind of ready for anything. So
Yeah.
they roll up,
Hey, Dragon.
and because I had wiped out, they all pulled up, and we were thinking it was going to be some hostile shit. Nope, it was the green lit opposition club,
Mhm.
and that club helped me load the trailer with that same 1% club.
look, I'm right there with you.
It was
My bike-
insane.
my
No one
bike
had
went
ever seen
down.
it. It still is talked about to this moment. You know what I mean? It's insane in that nation.
My bike went down, and as you all know, I'm on the black set, not the white set. All right.
Who cares?
And
I
and
don't look at sets as colors. I really don't.
well, see,
I
Black
don't
set,
either.
white
I'm
set,
I'm
it's
just
all one set.
specifying. I'm specifying because we do have
But it is
civilians
true.
that watch.
Yeah, and it's just two different.
And
It's going to be that way. I mean, as long as there's
Exactly.
all white clubs or there's all black clubs, there's just going to be that, you know, and
But
it's just, we accept it though. We're not weird about it though.
Exactly. And see, like with me being on the black set, you know, you wouldn't think that white clubs would jump to rush to help or whatever. I'm out with big bros with diamonds, right? And this is with the black set. My bike goes down, clutch cable snapped, almost laid me down because it got caught when the cable snapped in the front wheel. Luckily, it broke
Mhm.
itself free, and I didn't go all the way down, but it did like fishtail on me for a good second. Well, HA was behind us, and they stopped to
Mhm.
help. And I shout them out because they know it ain't nothing but respect. Whenever you've got one of the top 5 clubs stopping you and checking on you when you're on a whole nother set, that means something to me. And that moment right there was when I realized that if I'm gonna have that mentality of I don't care what they're wearing on the side of the road when their bike's down, then as long as they come at me correct, I'm gonna have that same mentality. I don't care what set you come from, what colors you got on, none of that. It's respect is a thing that people forget about these days.
Exactly.
And
Want to hear
and
a crazy one?
I'm loyal. I'm loyal to my side and my people and my bros. But at the same time, I'm not gonna let anybody tell me I can't talk to anyone else because
Yeah.
it's nothing but respect. And
Mhm.
Well, as long as you're not talking about club shit, who cares?
You know,
exactly.
you know.
You know?
With that being said, you know, we had a party, and one of our support clubs was there, and they had this one real dude, man, solid. I mean, you want to talk about most solid motherfucker you ever meet.
Mhm.
He comes up, and I'm sitting there going, man, when are you going to step up? Love to have you aboard. And you know what he looked at me and said? Why would I step up? I'm in the best club in the world. I says, you know what? Respect, because if you didn't say that, then I wouldn't respect you. But since you said that, I got more respect for you because you believe in your club more than anything and earning a diamond.
Yes, it's a mentality.
Yeah.
So the next church night, I brought it up that we gift him a diamond to wear on the inside of his cut. And they're like, why? And I explained why. And they're like, hell yeah. So we called him to the next week's church. He thought he was getting called to the carpet.
Right. He's like thinking he's getting executed.
Yeah, he was that dude was shaking in his boots.
Hell
I walked up to him.
Yeah.
I
That's
walked
the way
up
you're
to him.
supposed to feel on a patch like that. Yeah.
I walked up to him with the diamond and I slammed it on his chest as sew this on the inside of your cut within the next 5 minutes and you could keep it. That motherfucker bust out his
bust out the needle, bust out the needle. Let's go, homie. Absolutely. I'm always ready for a patch. Let's go. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And you know what? I have much respect for a dude like that because you know what? He got asked to step up to 1% club from a support club. He says, nah, man, I'm in the best club in the world.
See, we're talking some real shit right here.
Yep. And
100%.
I've turned down the diamond.
See, for me, that one's thing that gives me respect also because there's people that are patch jumpers. And us that are in the set will always see that same exact thing where we see those patch jumpers. They're looking for those other patches, see how much patches they can catch. It's like, dudes, you're not learning anything. You're not having that respect. You're not having that growth. You're sitting there, you're jumping. It's basically like being a hee-haw.
Yep.
You're selling your soul for the brotherhood, but the wrong reason. Why?
Some guys ain't in it for that reason, right?
A month later, one of his patch brothers at the time comes up to me and my sergeant arms and says, oh, when do I get my diamond?
Right.
No fucking
now
way.
What are you talking about?
No, hold on. We don't ask those questions.
Yeah.
Even inside our nation, we don't ask that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Said, what are you talking about? He's like, well, so-and-so you gave him his diamond. I'm like, yeah, he earned it.
And that's him. That's not
and
you.
Then I says,
We're talking
we
about
need to
you.
go out back and have a conversation. And next thing you know, my sergeant arms getting everybody, and he got educated.
Absolutely. That's a crazy question.
That's it.
And I took his cut and I handed it to his president. Says, don't give him back to him.
Yep. I got a couple of knuckleheads that just lost their cut, just last week or so that sat there and thought they were entitled. They could sit there and disrespect the cuts, old ladies.
Okay. Good night.
And they sat there, they said, oh, well, we can do whatever we want. Da, da, da. They got their cuts stripped from them. And it was not a pretty fact.
I've watched that happen more than a handful of times.
Yeah,
my old lady used to look at the property.
That's on the guy that trained them how to be a club member because he didn't educate them properly when they were coming through.
Look,
my wife used to look at the property of patch as a derogatory term till I got her hooked up with a national club. Oh, and the old lady I had a property of. I says, you need to have a conversation with her. Listen. And she did. And she learned a whole new respect for that property of patch because, she thought it as a derogatory that you're that should be my property. No, that's something that's earned. Just because you were married doesn't give you the property of patch. You got to earn that shit. And she respected it after that point, and to the point where she actually earned a property of her own.
So, Trouble, you was getting ready to say something. You want to go ahead and say that?
Hell yeah. Good shit from everybody tonight, man. I really appreciate y'all, but I'm going to have to float the fuck up out of here. But I do want to say, real quick, the education that they're dropping, if you're in the chat, make sure you're paying attention. You know what I'm saying? Because it steps to it. You know what I'm saying? Everything on the set is earned, not given. If you're giving anything on the motherfucking set, do yourself a favor. Leave. Because
please.
you're not gonna respect it. And when you don't respect something that people have lost limbs and time and sleep and everything like that, relationships, children, family members behind. And when you come spit on it, it's disrespectful. So with that being said, it's your boy Trouble, aka Left Lane Bully. I'm gonna have to float. Love you guys, nothing but much love, honor, and respect. And I'm gonna catch y'all on the flip side.
Trouble.
Love
Peace
and
to
respect,
you.
brother.
Holy motherfucking shit! I gotta give that to him right here, dude.
He just don't want to do the closeout. That's
Best
all it is.
extra I've ever heard on YouTube.
Yep.
Yep.
Hey,
Got it.
hey, you know, Trouble, we love you here, you know, and if you need me at any given time, you know how to get a hold of me. You know, you've been a long time, brother, and I'll
Yes, sir.
be there at your side 100%.
Yes, sir. We're gonna make it happen, GG. I promise you that, bro. We're gonna make it happen, man. I gotta
Okay.
goddamn make it happen with Mike too. He came over to my side of the earth, so I gotta come see him too.
Yes.
Okay, you know, I'll be at your side 100%, you know, and once I get my health back up, I'll be at your doorstep sitting there saying, hey, man, let's hook it up. And I will even cook a traditional Native American meal
I want
with
that.
authentic fry bread.
Come
Oh,
here first. Come
Hey,
here
You
first.
better keep your ass
no,
in
no,
Alabama.
no, Mike.
don't-
He said
stop the
trouble.
cap. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. I'm sniping this.
And some Indian
This
tacos.
is mine.
no
This is
trouble.
mine.
Fry bread's where it's at, bro, man. You better take that up.
No,
Don't turn that shit
Oh,
down.
I'm taking it. I'm taking it.
No,
I'm definitely
Trouble's not
taking it.
taking
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Yep. I taught my caregiver how to make fry bread a little while back when I had her. And she sat there. She thought it was going to be complicated as hell. So I no, here you go, da da da. And we made fry bread after fry bread, and we made Indian tacos. She said, "All right, well, I'm going to bring a couple of them for my old man. You know, if that's okay." I said, "Hey, you made them with me, so go ahead." I asked
Right.
her the next day when she came in, how'd her old man like the tacos?
Trouble.
And they're, you know, pretty big size Indian tacos. You know, they're about that big around. And she goes, oh man, taco? And I looked at her and said, what? She goes, they didn't make it to the stoplight.
That's crazy.
I have a brother of mine that was in the club with me. He was Apache, and he made fry bread for me one night. And oh man, I love that dude to death. If you call me right now, says I need you, my question is how much bail money and where?
Right.
Absolutely. Hey,
Location.
shoot me an email. I love y'all, man. Swear to God, Frost. Much love and respect, man. Fake love is always
Always.
Russian real hate. No debate. Trouble Left Lane Bully signing off. Peace.
Peace.
See ya,
Yeah,
bro.
going, brother.
Get some rest.
Be good.
So I
So-
figured out not too long ago why bikers always say peace and never goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
That's never
I want you to
goodbye.
Goodbye is forever. Peace is see you later.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
That's right.
And that's one word I never use. I never say goodbye to anybody unless
Nope.
I know
Fuck
in
no.
my spirit it's forever.
For me,
I
it's
say
always
goodbye
see
at
ya.
wakes and funerals.
And see
You
ya.
know?
I'll see you again, homie. I see ya. You
Look,
know what I
me-
mean?
So Mike got to hear this story whenever I was a guest over on the Diamond Effect.
That's right.
And me and my brother had a rule. And it was my little brother. I lost him. But we had a rule that we never say goodbye. See you
Yep.
later. Holla at you later. Peace. I'm out of here. Fuck off. Whatever it may be, but never goodbye. Well, one night, you know, I was putting him to bed. I told him good night. I loved him. I was going to go hang out with my cousin for a little bit, and I'll see him later. He said, I love you. Goodbye. And I left, and I didn't think about it because we was partying and shit that day. Well, after I left, he ended up getting his hands on something else. He ended up ODing, and it took me a few years, you know, for it to click and hit me that, yo, this little asshole told me goodbye.
Yep.
And it never clicked then. And I was like, I wish I would have, you know, caught it. I really do. But that's why I put myself out here on the show, and my viewers hear about all the stuff I've went through, and I voice it all. I'm very transparent because
Yep.
I don't give a fuck if you like me or not. All you can do is breathe in and breathe out. So
Peace.
Yep.
Right on.
so I really don't. Those of you that do follow me, I appreciate it. If not, I don't care. But at the end of the day, I say what I say because if people hear me talking about it, maybe they'll talk about it. Maybe they'll reach out.
Yep.
Yep.
So that
And
right
see,
there, that's definitely no goodbyes.
Yep. Suicide. I used to
and
think suicide was a very selfish act until one of my brothers I served with committed suicide, and made me really think, all right, was it really selfish, or was his demons that bad that they won?
But
And
see,
I would think about it, I'm like, man, I seen him go home and his three little girls run up to him and wrap their arms around his legs because they were so little. His wife would hug him and kiss him, tell him he loved him, that they supported him. They did everything they could. He was getting the help that supposedly he needed. And right before I left for my last deployment, he lost that battle. And I sat there and really, really looked at it and says, no, it's not a selfish act. He thought there was no other way to defeat his, the only way to deal with putting his pain aside and his nightmares aside.
Yeah.
And, 9 months later, I lost another brother who was one of my door gunners in Iraq. While I was in Afghanistan, I couldn't attend his funeral. And it was tough. It really was. And suicide's no joke. It's not a selfless act. It's not. Doesn't matter if someone's been to combat or not. And someone who commits suicide or think about committing suicide and you know about it, take it seriously, because you could be that one person in that person's life to sit there and change that attitude where, it's not worth going on. I can't handle it anymore. I'm done. To it is worth going through it. It is worth fighting for.
So my rule is one more. With my sobriety, it's one more day.
Right on. And I didn't know you were fighting sobriety. And if me drinking my Jaeger was a trigger for you, I apologize. And
no.
No disrespect, man.
I'm sitting here hitting a THC pin, and I drink too. My sobriety was for the hardcore shit that I was doing, that I tried killing myself by using.
Gotcha.
So me being off all that stuff, this right here, this actually helps me. The alcohol, it helps me. But back then, my thing was that stigma I was talking about earlier. Not voicing it, not talking about it. We were taught that men don't do that. So for me, I bottled so much up for so long. I didn't have anybody, didn't have anything, even though I had a full peer support group right here at me. I didn't see it because of the mentality I was in. I was so far down the rabbit hole and so far in darkness that the sun looked like a little tiny dot.
Yep. And it takes that one person that could pull you out of that darkness to help you fight another day.
And that's why my rule is one more. Because if I can help one more person, if I can last one more day, if I can make it one more moment, one more. That's my rule.
And for me, one thing that I do is, I'm always cracking jokes up. I'm always making people say, "Oh man, what the fuck? Oh man." The reason why I use humor for, especially more now, was I had a good friend of mine walk through that door, sit there and tell me point blank, goodbye. And for me, that's an alarm. That's an instant automatic red flag. That's automatic ding, 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 ding. Nope, something's up. Because everybody that knows me well enough knows that I don't say that word at all.
Yeah. Well,
And
I'm gonna put it out here for the first time. I fought with severe chronic PTSD, and I still battle with it every day.
It's not
am the
easy.
There
same
was
way.
a time where I thought ending it would be the final solution.
Yep.
And that one person that made a difference was my wife. Because I'd sit at work and start contemplating it, and I look over at her picture, and I said, damn, if I'm gone today or tomorrow, the rest of her life would be empty of memories that we could have created.
Oh yeah. 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 I know. Like I said, for me, like I said, she came
Very
through that
fortunate.
door.
I'm very
And,
fortunate I had her, and I still do. Very fortunate.
Yeah.
Hey, look,
Yeah.
Red got me when I was detoxing. Let me tell you, this woman went through it, because when I detoxed so bad. It was nothing like what you see in the movies. It was a million times worse. I promise.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've been
And
there before.
I begged and begged, either fucking kill me or give me something.
Yep.
I don't care. Do something. But it was her hugging me and telling me, I got it. I'm okay. It was Ghost and Mike Ball and Trouble and everybody else that, I work with and deal with, Miss Lissa, Heather Moe, all these people that you see on the in the chat and on the show. It was everybody came together to tell me, you can make it another day. You can keep going. You're worth something. You
Oh yeah.
need to be able to work past it. So I started listening to them, and I realized that a lot of us try to run from our demons.
Mhm.
But that's what tonight's episode is about, taming the beast. Okay?
Nobody ever tells bikers how to deal with PTSD either, right?
Nope.
Yeah, that's
Nope.
right.
And you know what? You don't have to be a soldier in combat to suffer PTSD. You
Nah.
could be a witness to the attacks of 9/11 and have PTSD. You could be a witness to a car accident and have PTSD.
Oh, I've been
Bad
living the roller
upbringing.
coaster for years, man.
Yeah. I got severe PTSD looking at my ex naked for the first time with lights on.
And then we got people like him.
But PTSD is a serious thing that needs to be seriously looked at. And you look at Mike Ball every morning, on his life or all his positive Instagram posts. And I tell you, I'm not joking. When I watch his positive posts on Instagram, man, it really makes a difference in my life, because that all you need is that one positive thought in your day to make your day. And Mike, thank you for that. I really appreciate it. From my heart to you, my brother. I love you to death for it.
Damn, dude, that's got to be one of the heaviest, most one of the take to your bank kind of like comments, man. And I got to thank you for that. That's extremely selfless of you to say. You know what I mean? Alone.
The shit you gone throughout your life, the horrific car accident to losing your leg, always making light of it. And we all joke with you about it, but it's a horrific thing, and there you are being positive every day, putting out something positive.
Because it's a cyborg.
That's what leaders. That's what leaders are made of.
Yep.
Oh man.
Thank you. You see these comments, right?
And see, that's one reason why I stated earlier. We are real. We sit there and we put our fuck ups out there. Our shortcomings. We sit there and we are transparent with ourselves what we've been through, what we're going through, and we're not sitting there sugarcoating shit for these little woke wannabe bastards that are confused on what bathroom to use. You know, we
Wait a minute,
are.
wait a minute. I'm not perfect.
No.
The camera goes off. Yeah.
Hey, in order to be perfect, you got to be the pogo king and or the pogo stick and the hopscotch king.
That's right. The hopscotch king that's clever. I haven't heard that one yet. You know, so I got to give you credit. I got to give you credit where credit's due. You know what I mean?
But
So
you know what? The biggest battle you'll ever fight is battling your inner demons, and asking for help doesn't make you weak. It actually makes you stronger.
Yep.
Look,
And I'll tell you, for me, I suffer from severe PTSD. I've got explosive personality, violent temper. I've got
Short
flashbacks.
fuse.
You know, very short fuse. That's why you usually see me with busted knuckles. You know, I just don't tolerate shit.
That's right. I wouldn't want to cross you, GEG. I'm
And
not your enemy.
And I
Don't
tell you,
forget. Don't
I gotta
forget.
go back to what Doc said. So it's the opposite for me, Doc. You said that, you know, it takes courage, and like I said over on the Diamond Effect, and you can ask Mike, it wasn't courage for me that allows me to talk about this. I talk about my demons, and I put all my demons out here for you guys, and I'm here for all of your demons as well. I've listened to many of you and text or emailed many of you multiple times throughout the years, but for me it's fear. It's the fear that drives me, the fear of my loved ones not having me, the fear of letting down my bros.
Right.
Well,
Fear's,
I wouldn't say
fear's
fear.
not necessarily a good thing.
I wouldn't.
It's
Hold
not
on.
necessarily
Hold
a bad thing.
on. I wouldn't say it's fear. It's the love you have for your loved ones and your bros, that they would continue their life without you, and you love them enough that you want to be here to experience those life changes and those life events with them, especially with your children and your wife. It's not fair. It's the love you have for them.
Yep. And see, that's one thing that's
And
one
that's
thing that
something you
keeps
should
us
never
going.
let go.
You know, we
Never
have
looked at it
a
like that.
common.
I know. Here's the ironic part, right? I was the trainer for the Department of Defense for PTSD awareness.
Mm,
So I thought I was going to be immune to it when I went on my first deployment. Before it was called PTSD, when it was called combat stress or shell shock.
Shell shock, yeah.
You know, it was shell shock, combat stress, PTSD, the 1,000-mile stare, whatever you want to call it, whatever you know they want to label it. It's all the same thing. It really is.
Yeah.
And it's your love for your family. It's the love for your brothers. Why? It's not the fear. It's the love that you have, because love is much stronger than anything. And I'm going to say it, man. You know, love is stronger than any emotion that you can have. And this is the only time I tell you emotion is a good thing, is the love emotion. Right? We all love motorcycles. We all love riding motorcycles. We all love the brotherhood. Right? We all love our family.
And that's it. You know, we've got a love that binds us together no matter what walk of life we are from. Whether we're rich, whether we're white, black, purple, yellow, green, blue, what the fuck ever color you want to come up with, we all have that common denominator.
Yep.
1, we love freedom. 2, we love the open road. 3, we are in the biggest brotherhood in the fucking world. We are the biggest family in the world.
Now I'm going to blow everybody's mind. You talk about biggest brotherhood. I've experienced more brotherhood or true brotherhood in this community than in the military community.
Oh yeah,
Wow, holy fucking shit.
yeah.
And I know what you're getting at, Doc.
Well,
That
I've had
is
the honor for both
the
as well.
truth. There are, after 25 years being active duty all over this world, in the Connecticut National Guard, traveling all over this world, I could count on less than one hand how many true brothers I have. Now, in the motorcycle community, true brotherhood, I can't count that high.
Mm-hmm.
If I put it out there to one brother from the club I used to belong to that I need help, I will have over 100 people at my garage ready to help me.
That's right.
Now, if I put it out to one of my brothers from the military, oh man, I wish I could be there, but I can't help.
Yep. And for us, that's one of the things that's hard, because a lot of the people that we are in the military from, they're going, well, I'm going through this, I'm busy. A lot of
You're in Connecticut, I'm in New York, I can't make it.
Yeah.
Oh my
I had
God.
a brother of mine. I had somebody I consider a brother who I met here on YouTube sit there and says, I need your help. Can you come to West Virginia? I got in my car and I drove out to West Virginia just to help him out because he needed my help.
Yep.
And it was something stupid. But you know what? We spent a long weekend together. We had a great time and we fixed his problem. And at the end,
I've got on my hand, I could sit there and from my military brothers, I can count on one hand the amount of people that I still have good connection with.
Yep.
That if I say, hey man, I need to be defused, they're right here. I mean, they are flying their asses here.
Yep.
But
see, now,
the brotherhood,
I'm going to put Mike Ball on the spot. All right. Mike Ball and I, we talk on and off here and there, offline, text messages, phone calls, whatever. If you call me up and says, hey, Doc, I really need you to come down here and help me out, I would do everything in my power to get down there to help him.
I know that to be 1,000% fact.
Yep. And it's,
and same thing with you, Ghost Eagle. This is the first time I saw your face, but I see you all the time on Mike Ball's chat. I see you once in a while on my side chat, you know what I mean? And I get it, but you need my help. I don't even know where you're at. I'll come find you.
He's over there on the West Coast, dude. He's over there in Oregon.
Yeah,
Mike finally moved to the Beast Coast.
I'm literally a spit's throw away from hell.
Go Beavers.
Don't put me in that position, by the way, Frost. Don't do that. I see what you're doing.
Representative.
I see what you're doing here. Listen.
And that's what true brotherhood is about.
Shit, though. I'm not changing shit.
Hey, look, you're the Bama Cholo. We'll give you that one.
And I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to go visit Mike Ball next year.
Oh, man. You already know. We got the compound ready for you.
Okay. And with me, I've got surgeries coming up and stuff like that, so I'm down for a while.
Yep. Right on. If you need anything, just let us know.
Oh, yeah. And see, that's the other thing about our brotherhood. And again, I'm saying our brotherhood. We are connected by a bond that no one else could fucking break. We are there for each other. We may be knuckleheads. We may be one-sided or another.
Degenerate.
No matter what political views we've got, we don't give a fuck. We don't have images to sit there and uphold because we are the true what brotherhood really is. And I'm hoping that us being together like this from all walks of life are sitting there saying, hey, all these other dipshits, little pansies that are sitting there keeping the wars going against whatever cut, sits there and look at us and go, hey, look at these guys. All different walks of life, all different cuts, all different views, all this. We're getting together.
I want to go on a Floria podcast like George Christie and get famous.
Oh, fuck that bitch.
He's a rat. I'll go out. Hey, I'll go out right now. George
Frogzilla.
Christie is a rat. And if he's listening to this, you're a rat.
Hey, Christy, here's my radio. I'm going to turn up the volume for you, fucking
You know
cunt.
what?
I sent him a message
Here's
one
the true
time.
story. Here's the true story. Right? When I was a prospect for the first time in the first club I ever joined in 2010, I was 40 years old as a prospect for a 99 club, a support club for 81.
Mm-hmm.
And 81 calls up my club president and says, "Hey, we're going to Manhattan because there's a book signing. We're going to go down there." So all right. And so I get the call from my president. "We're going to Manhattan. Grab your bike. Let's go." Okay. You can't say no as a prospect.
Oh, yeah.
I'm standing in line for this book signing, and who's signing books is the man himself, Sonny Barger. I don't care what side of the fence you're on. You got to respect the man for what he did.
Fuck
for
yeah.
our life. Right?
Man,
So I'm standing there, and I introduce myself. Hi, Sonny. My name is Chop, prospect, such club. Well, I could say club is the fuck now, Iron Steeds. He's like, "Cool, right on. Sit down right here with me." I said, "I appreciate the offer. I can't sit down. I'm a prospect." He goes, "I'm Sonny fucking Barger. If I tell you to sit down, sit the fuck down."
yep.
Hey,
And
look,
so
I'm
I
not gonna
sit
lie.
down in
I
the
would.
middle of his book signing. He spent an hour and a half talking to me, telling me if and ever I get patched, how to treat a prospect.
Mm-hmm. The man was a legend.
Fast forward, I'm in a diamond club, and I'm sitting there talking to my prospects, and I took that to heart what Sonny told me. And actually, I got a nasty email. I was in Arizona for the Army, and I didn't reach out to Sonny that I was there, and he was pissed off at me because I didn't reach out. But whatever. And I was getting hammered at by my club. Who am I to treat prospects like that? Who taught me to treat prospects like that? I said, "Sonny motherfucking Barger. If you got a problem, give him a call."
Yep.
It's a good answer.
And they're like, "You met Sonny Barger?" I says, "Yeah." And I told them that story. And at that time, the sergeant at arms was in that club with me and was there and witnessed the whole thing. He says, "That's 100% accurate."
Well,
I've seen a lot of people take advantage
prospects.
of their prospects.
No.
And a lot of clubs take advantage of their prospects.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it happen too many times.
I've seen them pick the pockets clean, man.
Majority of clubs get this part wrong. They get this part wrong right here.
There's hazing, and then there's treating them like men.
No, bro. I saw a member pick the prospect's pockets clean and then put him out bad, for fuck's sakes, when he said something.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys real quick in summary that one of the most important things I learned working out in the water is I was 18 years old as a captain of I was working out on tugs and stuff, and I was working with a humongous crews of, it was amazing, but at the same time, it was a hardcore position to be put in because I put myself there, but at the same time, I've got my deckhands, engineers, all these people that are amazing people, but they've been doing this for 30, 40, 50 years. And some of them are 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, some of them are real old, dude, not 80, 70 is the oldest that we had in the whole area. But the same token, I had to gain that respect from them at 18 years old. That's what my point is there's a way to go about this no matter your age. Because at first I was taken as a joke. It's like, oh yeah, this fucking kid wants to fucking tell me what the fuck to do. The fuck he know about shit.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you real quick. Hold on real quick. I'm going to summarize this. So this one time I was 18 and I'm federally licensed to be a captain. Okay. This is what I'm licensed to do this shit. And my responsibility is the boat. You know what I mean? That's and the cargo that I'm towing or whatever the fuck I'm doing. So I told my one of my deckhands, I said, I need you to go down into the head and I need you to clean that head. It's a little needed. You know what I mean? It's just needs to be done. You know, you need to clean the toilet. So he goes down there and he actually gave me some fucking lip about it as we were walking down the stairs together. And I go, you know what, dude? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Go ahead and kick back. Go ahead and sit down. I got it. I went back there and I started fucking doing it myself. And he looked at me and goes, Captain, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. I go, you just said you weren't going to do it. And it needs to be done. I'm not going to ask you to do anything I'm not willing to do myself.
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead and fucking do it myself. If you tell me fucking no at this point, you're 47, dude. I'm 18.
Yep.
Okay. And so this taught me a lot going into like the whole motorcycle club scene and all of this. I was 18 years old dealing with that situation.
Yep.
47-year-old man. You know what I mean?
We had that rule for our prospects. You cannot ask your prospect to do anything that you wouldn't be willing to do yourself.
Yeah, right.
Now go back to Douche's comment here about Sonny Barter, right? You know when someone meets Sonny and knows Sonny, you know how to pronounce his name, because if you mispronounce his name, he'll let you know. And let me tell you something. From personal experience, it hurts. You mispronounce his name, it hurts.
Yep. That's how I knew you actually knew who he was.
Yep.
And to go to Mike's comment was, when I got patched in the 1% club, it was my night, my bar night, and I had to make a meal to serve to everybody. So I was going to make cheesesteak. Well, I made all the cheesesteak, and I'm there, and I'm cooking and cleaning everything, getting everything ready on a Thursday night for a Friday night open house. And my VP walks in, and I'm cleaning up the meat cutter. I'm cleaning up the kitchen. He's like, "The fuck you doing? We got prospects for this." I'm like, "Yeah, and you telling me I can't clean up my own house?"
Look,
I says, they're not here to clean up after me. I make the mess. I clean up after myself. I'm a grown ass man.
See, I love guys like you, and see, which is funny because I really, really prospected just like anybody else, right? But the thing is, a lot of people, that's a whole different discussion. A lot of people don't even prospect, but nonetheless, you know, we all did up here. I know that. And the thing is it taught me a lot right there too. You know what I mean? Like I got to interact with members that could have abused power and said, you know what, that's not fucking right. I'm not going to do that to him just because I can do it and I can get away with it and no one would say shit. But hey, that's not really me, and that's not morally what I think.
See, that's where respect comes in, because there, that is where respect comes into play. Because if a person's going to sit there and say, okay, well, I'm in power, and they got that title above, they sit there and they says, okay, well, I'm going to sit back like this and I'm going to tell you to do it, regardless of what you say. You know, how you feel, you're going to do it because I'm in charge. It's like, no, that's not where respect comes in. And right there saying, hey, I may be the title holder, whatever, you know, whatever, your vice president,
or even a pat.
That's just a responsibility. That's it.
Yeah. And one of the greatest guys I've ever worked with sat there and told me, he goes, if your job is to clean that toilet, you clean it like you own it. If your job is to sit there and be the CEO of a 500 corporation, you own it and you do it with your heart. If it means that you're shining shoes, you do it with pride. You do it with honor. You sit there and you stand up for what you believe in. And if you have people underneath you, make sure that you treat them as people. because
Absolutely.
because you never know when that person's going to need you, and you're going to need them.
Yep.
If
Happens
you're gonna
all
be
the
a
time.
tyrant little bitch,
Not just that, you're building a brotherhood. I mean, I can't tell you every time a new charter would show, a charter would show up with a new hang around and they would introduce the new hang around. I'd look at them and say, come here, I want to talk to you. What do you mean? We're going to go talk. What do you mean we're going to talk?
Holy shit.
Fuck, you got to
Frogzilla.
question me. We're going to go talk.
That's
We
a big
could-
comment right there from Frogzilla. Go ahead and read
That's
it.
why I threw it up there. I seen it and I was like, it's got to go up there.
Yeah.
Read it.
And
It
I
was
would
a
grab the
one
hang around.
percenter. It was a 1%er who stopped my stepdad from beating the shit out of me when I was a kid because we were a lifetime friends with the family and they got tired of me coming over there and beat up.
Yeah.
yep.
Right on.
I'm
Well,
the
much
same
love,
way.
respect to Frog. Now,
Yeah.
I would grab the hangarounds and sit down and I would try and find out everything I can about them. You married? Oh, you're married. You have any kids? Oh, how many kids you have? What's their names? What's their wife's names? And I
Yep.
tell them, next time you come to my house with a party and your wife's not with you, I'm going to add 30 days to your prospecting period.
Damn. And I know where you come from. You know what I mean? So,
Because
yeah,
that's how Sonny taught me.
that's
Man
heavy.
did 55 years as a 1%er. I don't care what side of the fence you did. You got to respect him for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he taught me
You got some
that it's your hangarounds and prospects are the future of this lifestyle, and you treat them with respect. And if you disrespect them, you're disrespecting the lifestyle. You're disrespecting our future. You're disrespecting yourself.
And your own nation.
Yeah.
100 motherfucking percent.
And you're failing because
Yep.
if you're not teaching the proper knowledge, the proper history, the proper protocol, the proper everything that they need to know for this lifestyle, you are failing the prospects.
Yep.
You want to
I
be
was
the
on-
patched member that you wanted as a prospect.
Yep. I was on Mike Ball's live one time, and at the end of the show, we were backstage, and his sponsor came on, who sponsored him into the life. And I actually said to him, I says, I got to thank you. He goes, for what? I said, for bringing Mike up right. He's a young soul.
Yep.
He's a young dude with
With
an
an old
old
soul,
soul
yeah.
in his life.
Yeah.
And I got nothing but love and respect for Mike, for the way he is, and much love and respect for you. And I haven't met you, for bringing him up right.
Damn. That's
You
That,
think
I remember that conversation. That was a very heavy conversation.
That was
day.
a year ago.
Yeah, I remember. It was when we really got, connected for like the first time for real,
Yeah.
like, and we got on to that next level of thinking, right?
Yep.
And rather than just surface level talking. And that's something that I crave. I actually love to get those authentic conversations, right? I crave it.
Yep.
And that's something that's super special to me. And I'm going to show you guys real quick a little excerpt. I'm going to show you a couple actually, but of just the man that he's speaking of. So you have
old school, solid. I never met him face to face, but I met him on here and we talked. Man is as genuine as you can get. I have nothing but love and respect for him. And if I see him, I'm just going to shake his hand and say thank you. And if he doesn't want any more conversation, I could walk away a happy man.
Hey, look, he's an awesome person to talk to. The one time that Mike let me talk to him, he was an amazing person.
add that to the stage real quick, Frost. So this is us in Sao Paulo, Brazil, when we did that ride. And, he's the man that made everything in the motorcycle club life world, all of that. He did make that happen for me. But, I opted myself to go, and visit him in his element when it wasn't necessarily convenient for me to do so. It was about sitting there and actually talking with him. You know what I mean? And nothing more than just to talk. I didn't have any other motive than just to talk. That's it. And so I always kind of, as a prospect, he's the national president, and so I got noticed very early on for the ambitiousness that was behind my prospect shit, right? And so I got tested right away, dude, from him, you know what I mean? And it was hardcore. And I'm not even going to explain that. But he was the one that I got to give credit to on the whole set thing, understanding motorcycle culture, understanding both lives, because he actually stems from the gang life and stems from, the motorcycle club culture at the same time, which is kind of fucking gnarly. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's something that, as everyone will tell you, you can't go to two gods. You know what I mean? Essentially, you can't pray to two gods. And it's something that I really learned about the cultures and being in Southern California, learning and growing up in the actual where it started. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And this is a man that was not birthed. He grew up on 18th Street in Los Angeles.
I know that street real well.
You know what I mean? So we're talking where it all stems from. You know,
he's the OG of OGs.
Yeah, and for me, it's something that I hold extremely dear to me. You know what I mean? Having somebody that saw and believed in me to be able to go, I'm gonna pass this on, over here. And to make that decision was critical, you know what I mean? And it takes a lot of trust from an OG to do that to just some young G, right? Some just young kid. And, it was...
Say for it is, Mike. You were a snot-nosed punk.
Well, I survived.
I met that with a lot of love and respect.
I survived, right? You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I must be all
right. Still wet behind the ears.
You respect him.
I can tell you
for him teaching you how to move and how to talk and how to act. But we respect him as, the older generation for teaching you properly. If you remember our first conversation, Mike, I really didn't realize you was as young as you was.
Yeah.
But once I heard your age, the first words out my mouth was, yo, that amazes me because, I'm a fan. To me, you are bigger than what you see yourself as. So for me, being in this world my whole life, I mean, I've got over 3 decades in this shit. You wasn't even alive. And the crazy part about it is, like, I've been and was raised in a 1% family. And I know how the life is. So to see you raised right inside the club life, it means the world to me. You got to think, bro, you the youngest lifer out here.
Yeah, and to this day, that's something that I hold proud. You know what I mean? Like, at least I did a good rather than departing at a evil. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of that happens where anger comes in and politics get in play, and politics did come into play in my case. Okay.
In the club life, politics always comes to play.
That's always it's inevitable. You can't escape it. You know what I mean? But it's
I don't care if you're a prospect or a hang around or the president of the club, there's always politics, and it's bullshit.
And the further you move up the ladder, the more there is.
Yep. And like someone says, ride more, politics less.
Yep, 100%.
Because the politics will kill any vibe, it will kill any mood, and it will destroy the brotherhood because everybody will get caught up in that political bullshit.
It's weird because you can use politics for good, though. And here's the thing, and it is I tried to really shine in that in the club life. You know what I mean? Where I tried, because I got it political. I mean, I was a president. I mean, I did it all where I earned my way through the whole thing. I mean, I every rank except Sergeant of Arms, essentially. You know what I mean? Because I'm not the right guy. I'm not the right guy for that. So anyways, You know what I mean? I'm
Neither
just
am
giving
I.
a
I
buck.
love that
Right.
job.
I'm not the right guy for that. So I did everything, but I earned my way through that. And I realized it's just, you know what I mean? Like all of this anyways is a main distraction from what it actually really is. It really is only a responsibility. You know what I mean? And here's the thing. People take a responsibility to the head. You know what I mean? And see here, I was a president, but I was always motherfucking humbled by my OG.
You weren't peacocking.
So he would, if I anytime my head got a little balloon, because it did.
Oh yeah, we all
I'm not
face
You
gonna
can't
that.
help it.
I'm
You
not gonna
can't
cap.
help it.
Absolutely. There
too
are
many-
times that did happen, but guess what he did? He G-checked me right away. You know what I mean? And it was like, nah, little homie. You think you run the world? You know what I mean? And so real quick, Frost, do me one last favor and put that screen up real quick. And that's the last one I'll show. But that is me and him in Brazil doing the double world record right there. And you know, me and him, that is the man that taught me it all, man. And it was all because, but you got to remember from a young generation standpoint that you have to also want to crave that education as well.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And something that not a lot of my generation embraces. Okay. And I'm going to be keeping it a buck. You have to be willing to hear somebody's standpoint before you even have a position. You know what I mean? Like you have to be able to hear it before you start going, you know, filibustering and what the fuck you want to say. You know,
Well, the problem is, Mike, today's day and age, and I've experienced it at the top level, they don't want to hear it. It's their way or the highway, no matter what the table says.
But once you get a position, you got to be willing to teach the new guys coming up what you already fucking know. You
See,
can't do that to yourself.
That's a
the
responsibility.
old school
That's your fucking
mentality.
responsibility, though.
Right? That's the old
take
school
69.
mentality. But the new school mentality is, I'm the president. We're going to do what I want, and I don't care.
No, and see, that's
See,
bullshit. That's
And I've
bullshit.
seen charters get closed because of that.
Yes.
And good brothers get put out bad because they were part of that charter.
Well, I don't.
You
agree
know
with
what
that,
hurts
but
it?
it's
We
terrible.
Honestly?
just seen that. We just seen that not too long ago. And to go with what Frost said earlier, sending out information that should never, ever see the light of day.
Absolutely.
Other than that club itself.
Okay,
Should-
Most Eagle, real quick, I want to say something on this exact topic. Okay. So, as someone that is in the media, I have intel to every single motorcycle club on the planet. You know what I mean? It just really is what it is, right?
Oh, yeah.
And
Well, to back that up, Mike, real quick, before Mike Ball had me on his show and had me on with Hollywood, which I'm very grateful for, I got
know what
mud.
he's gonna say.
I got mud checked.
As
And
everyone,
it came back to
everyone that
me.
does.
And it came back to me. I was being mud checked. I'm like, tell them the truth.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're like, what do you want me to tell them? Tell them the fucking truth.
You know,
But see, nobody knows about that shit behind the scenes, though. You know, unless you were to say it or I were to say it. But
Well,
like the thing
that's
is,
because you and Hollywood got burned in the past.
absolutely,
Twitch.
absolutely.
you know,
You know, I was
And a couple
right there.
others, you know?
I was the guy feeding the intel. You know what I mean? Where Hollywood realized on that show what had happened. I was that guy that sent the intel on that. You know, so it's really, really crazy.
Yep.
You know, because you, especially when you are involved in this space in a motorcycle club realm, we show
You're
our
gonna get
faces.
G-Tech now.
We show our faces out here, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not no fucking AI, no face having AI, you know, just bot telling a story. You know, I can be G-checked at any motherfucking time. You know what I mean? And it's something that I really, really learned at a young age, that the internet is actually real. The thing is no one on this planet is bulletproof.
No.
You know what I mean? No one is invincible.
And I got G-checked by Mike Ball. And I'm happy to say I passed the G-check.
Hey, man.
Hey, good brother, how you doing, man?
I
But
know
what's
Hollywood
crazy
doesn't
about
get
it-
me.
If
It-
I didn't
it-
pass, he wouldn't be on the screen with me right now. And that's a fact.
and vice versa, right? And see
Yep.
that's what's crazy about the whole thing is see, I just go on the not on the defense, but on like not even on the offense either. It's just a question asking,
Natural.
like just
Mhm.
figuring out who you are genuinely. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like it doesn't even have to come down to like even documents or anything like that. But it can come down to genuine, just being able to talk to somebody.
Yep.
That art has been lost a long time ago, and it's something that I really try to bring back. And I try to show that it really can work, and like the internet can be a good thing. You can learn things. You can fucking
Yep.
gain amazing connections. You know what I mean? Like there's amazing things that can come with this shit, but people kind of only kind of look on the bad side of things. You
Now,
know?
I
Yeah.
can tell you personally, the greatest accomplishment I've had being in YouTube and social media was one day I was out riding my motorcycles with my brothers and having a really good time. And it was not a club thing. I was out of the club by then. Is I got a phone call from this young man saying, "Hey, what are you doing tonight at 8:00?" I said, "I'm not sure why." He goes, "Like to have you on the show with me in Hollywood, talking about Harley Davidson in the future. And we thought you would be a great, great person to have on to talk about it." And I was like, "Okay,
Hell
sure."
yeah.
And I was so honored and excited about it. I looked at my brothers. I looked at my wife. I says, "We gotta go." She goes, "What do you mean?" I just got asked to be on a huge show with Hollywood and Mike Ball. I mean, Hollywood show could have up to 300,000 listeners at any given point in time. Same thing with Mike Ball. No disrespect, Mike.
No,
Please.
no,
Don't
it's
take
true.
it. And here I am, just little old me at the time, less
Yep.
than 2,000 subscribers at the time, going, "I'm going to be on Hollywood and Mike Ball? Are you kidding me?"
I was the
I'm nobody.
responsibility for every person that came on the Hollywood and Mike show.
I
Every
would.
one of those
I'm
shows,
like,
that
I'm a
was me.
nobody. I'm a nobody.
No,
I just
you're-
broke
hell
1,000
no.
subscribers. I'm a nobody, and I'm still a nobody.
I told
And
him
I
the
got
same thing.
I'm the same way. I'm a nobody. You know, I'm sitting there.
Stop the
I
cap,
don't
y'all.
have millions of people following me. I don't have all these millions of followers and
I
stuff
almost
like
got
that
500.
I was
because
so
me,
nervous that night.
Look,
I
he
ran to
started
the
blushing.
bathroom
He had to get off the camera.
twice. I was so nervous that night. I ran to the bathroom twice during that whole show because I was so honored to be on Hollywood and Mike Ball's show that
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh my god!" And I know before I got on Hollywood show, I would definitely they were going to do the background on me and find out, can I back up the shit I talk?
Mhm.
Was I really 1%, or did I get the tattoo and deal with it as I deal with it? You know what I mean? But then
Oh,
again, if that's the case, then are you truly 1%er because you're going to deal with the consequences? Yeah, you are. But
No,
you know,
look, I agree with both you and Mike. So with Mike, you know, I worked behind the scenes for many years.
Yep.
Even Ghost knows that. Behind the scenes on all the different channels, every channel on YouTube, I had some part in being behind the scenes at some point.
Yep.
see,
And
I'm
the
going to give a
thing,
shout out to Bet Rid Podcast. I love that dude, Zach,
Yep.
to death. He's a great guy. I've ridden with him. I've hung out with him. I've hung out with his wife and him. My wife loves Megan. You know, talk about some stand-up people right there. And
oh yeah.
you know, he's a behind the scenes guy too.
But see, working behind the scenes, like Mike said, it comes natural. So
Yep.
every single person that's up here on the panel tonight, I've done my research. I know who you are, what you do, how long you've been doing it, all that stuff, because it's part of my job behind the scenes to know the people that I might be inviting on. Not only that, but on the set, are you able to actually talk about what we're talking about?
Hold on, real quick. I want to interject that none of us can make it without that.
Yep.
None of us.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's something that I hold dear sincerely.
Yep.
And I also, agree with what you were saying, Doc, is like the first time, like I said a little bit ago, that me and Mike talked, I told him, hey, yo, look, I'm a fan. I didn't know that I was older than you. He's like, I want to grow up to be like you. And I said, nah, bro, I want to grow young to be like you.
Yep.
Well, I knew I was older than Mike.
Yeah. When I first met Mike, him and I talked about when I first met him. When I first seen him, it was on that first interview that he did when he came on.
Yep.
I've been following him since, and that's a long ass time ago.
It was like 4 years ago.
Yeah,
3 years ago.
I remember that first time that you came on that deal, and I'm sitting there going, okay, I'm listening, and I was like you, Frost. I thought he was a lot older than that. I'm thinking he's at least in his early 40s. And
yeah, Mike being in the chat, he seems a lot older.
Yeah. And I sat there and I watched him. I sat there and literally watched him, everything that he was on, whether it be BDs, whether it be on Hollywoods, whether it be on any of the others, just like everybody here. I watched every one of you guys grow up and sit there and it's like, okay. And usually when you guys see me and I'm sitting there, I'm like this, I'm paying attention. I'm reading. I'm
That's
looking.
right.
I'm sitting there and saying, okay, what's going on? And you guys have shown me a lot, because I'm still humbled by you guys. I'm still learning a lot. Even though I'm as old as I am, I still respect that little pogo stick over here.
A little bastard right there.
Hell yeah.
Emotional damage.
And you ain't gonna live that down, bro. You're not.
But see, the thing about it is that by us doing that due diligence, it shows that we are real about this shit.
And we give a fuck. You know what I mean? Yeah, we actually care.
We care.
Yeah.
I don't want just some bullshit ass pretending dude like I'm not bringing Big Cell on my show. Okay, I want real. I want real.
I would beat that fucker in a heartbeat. That trailer queen needs to get his fucking.
I just vow, by the way, YouTube.
Well, I'll be honest with you guys. I fell into the trap of turning my channel into a commercial channel. Hey, buy this product. It's the greatest thing out there. I got trapped into that, and I realized early on that I got into that trap, and now I'm turning companies away, saying no, thanks, no thanks. I'd rather just do how-tos, unless it's a great product. I mean, I'm trying to get Hard Street on. They make the shells that go inside the saddlebags. And it's a pretty cool product that's American made. I'm trying to get them on one of my lives, and part of that is to have them give away a shelf to one of my subscribers. But I don't want to be that channel saying, buy the Jackhawk 9000 because it's the best knife out there, or buy this phone, it's the best phone out there, and that's all you get for videos from me. And I started to fall into that trap as I'm looking at my videos going, whoa, wait a minute, time out, pump the brakes. Let's get back to who you are and not become a product whore.
Yeah, and see, that's one of the things that I see a lot, because I'm all over everywhere. I'm in so many different as you call it, lives and stuff like that, feeds, whatever you want to call it. And that's one thing that gets me is a lot of people sit there and they'll start talking about whatever their show is about, and then 5 minutes later, oh, time for this product. And you can tell by how they're reading shit like they're on a cue card that they don't believe in that product.
They got
You know, it's like, why are you selling your ass for a fucking product that you're destroying your show for?
Yeah, I've done that going, wait a minute, let me see. Oh, yeah, this is it. You know, I grab my phone to make sure I put out the right information. But at the same time, I'm going to throw it out there. Company Mactons, they sent me a set of bag guards, right, to put on a bike and do a video on. And they were half the price of, you know, the leading brand here in the U.S. that's American made and all that. And I was like, well, that's pretty cool. You know, saddlebag guards at half the cost. I'll do the video. You know, I did the video, and then recently I found out that their bag guards caused a serious safety concern where they crushed the rear brake line and caused it to leak.
Oh, shit.
Now, on an ABS bike that's 2014 or newer, you have a linked braking system, which means when you apply just front brakes, you're applying 75% brakes to the front, 25% brakes to the rear. So you're creating a severe braking issue. So I put out a video saying, caution, if you have these, you need to look out for this. Now, that company reached out to me, and I'm quoting here, because I said, I'm just going to order Santoros and replace them because they're not an issue. And they said, oh, when you get the Santoros, can you send us the detailed pictures of them installed? I'm like, nope, not going to happen. Sorry, it's not going to happen because you ripped off the design, the original design, and you're selling it as yours. 2, this is a serious design flaw that could kill people. And 3, I felt responsible because I put that video out saying, hey, get these because they're half the price. Well, you get what you pay for.
Say that part again.
And that was the aha moment saying, you know what, I'm starting to be a commercial whore and I don't want to be that.
You know? And see, that's again, you know, that's what I said. There's a lot of people that are that. They're fucking product whores. They're sitting there, they're selling their ass, but yet they're supposed to be part of our brotherhood. It's like, dude,
they're not part of the brotherhood. They're not part of the brotherhood. They're product whores trying to sell you on stuff. And, you know, and I watch some of those channels, and
I hit that.
Some of them sit there and they're so good at what they do. I sit there and say, oh, I need that. Then I do my research. Then I'm like, well, I don't need that product, but this one is similar. Yeah, it's more money, but it's got a better name to it. So I'm going to go this way.
So let me ask you, if that's the way that people think about products, why are they not thinking about their hang around and the prospects the same way? I'm willing to pay more, do more, put in more work for better quality, right?
Yep.
So as a patched member, officer, whatever position holder you want to call it, as, you know, a fullback, I feel it's my responsibility to put in that work, pay that more money, do more to make that prospect / product a higher quality. So therefore, whenever I do have it, it's going to be there, it's going to be useful, and I'm not going to have to worry about replacing it and blah, blah, blah.
That's why I used to take the time to sit down with the hang-arounds and learn about them and their family life, their job life.
Exactly.
Who they were. I wanted to know because in the organization I was in, you needed 100% vote of the club, not just the charter, the club.
Yep.
Damn.
This is
and I could tell you there were 3 prospects I didn't raise my hand for. One of them used to beat his wife on a regular basis.
To beat his ass in the heartbeat.
Another one would blow off his job to do club stuff. Well, you know what? If you're blowing off your job to do club stuff, then you're not taking care of your family. If you can't take care of your family, how are you going to take care of the club?
Yep.
And the last one was a junkie.
Ooh, no. That'll kill your club real quick, too.
And they look at me and really, you're not voting him in? They're like, no, he's a junkie. What do you mean he's a junkie? I says, I saw him shooting up. We got rules against that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and today,
you mean you're a biker and you got
in,
rules?
yeah.
What kind of shit is that? I didn't know bikers had rules.
They got more rules than civilians.
No shit.
Yeah. And see that in today's, as we say, and I'm saying it as a bastardized word, in today's set, there's more people that don't care whether you're a SO, you're a junkie. They want those cuts. They want to sit there and have those numbers. So they could sit there and look big and powerful. So it goes, hey, look, we're growing. You know, they want to be notarized as growing, but yet they're not getting that quality. That necklace that I just showed you, it took me 6 months to make because I want quality
Over quantity.
Over quantity. And I take my time to sit there and make sure that I look at every detail. And I would rather have quality than quantity. You know, and when we had our little prospects coming up, we had to sit there and teach them. You know, I sat back and was like, hey, this is this, this is this. You know, I helped them grow. Because if they're not growing the right way, they're going to be jumping patch to patch. They're going to go, okay, what do I do? And they're going to get their asses handed to them. But it looks bad on us because we did not do our diligence. We did not do our duties to show them the right way.
Yep. Now, I used to put everybody in a trap question, every prospect. And it's a simple question.
I love it.
No right answer. And there's no right answer because the right answer is depending on the person you talk to and the state of mind. And I used to ask them all the time, what does it mean to you to be a 1%er?
Yep. That's
and the prospect that said to me, well, I'm a badass. I'm going to go out, kick ass and raise hell and drink for free and take all the girls. You got 6 more months because you have no idea what it means to be a 1%er.
It's like, nope. There you go. There's the door. You know, nope.
I had one prospect look at me straight and says, honestly, I have no clue, but I'm willing to learn.
Yep. That's dope.
The one you want.
That's dope.
Yep.
And then I had one dude say to me, he says to me, he goes, you know what a 1%er is? What's that? The person who lives by the set of his own rules and the rules of his club.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that will not put up with any bullshit. So like I said, 2 totally different answers or 3 totally different answers, but not one of them is wrong, but not one of them is right.
Right.
However,
subjective.
2 out of the 3 of them were more acceptable than the third.
Sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, and see that's what gets me is, you know, I'm all over the sets. I'm in different clubs and stuff like that. And one of the things I was told a while back, guy was sitting there, he's trying to get my goat sitting there saying I'm a fake biker and all this other shit. And I just laughed at him. I was like, dude, whatever, fuck you. You know, I've been in this set longer than you've had freaking testicles, so shut up.
I had somebody say that to me once, and one of the prospects of my old club goes, you realize you just heard that to an OG? And they're like, what do you mean? Goes, you have no idea how lucky you are you're still breathing. at this point.
Yep.
And I looked at the prospect going, what gave you the right to say that? He goes, well, you're an OG, and you're one of the badasses. I'm like, no more badass than you.
Yep.
Because I did my time and you didn't. Not yet, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But you're kind of right. He's lucky he's still breathing because it's not my business now. It's your business to handle club business.
Yep.
That's club business. He's punking down the club and you're going to allow it?
Mm-hmm.
I says,
Oh, yeah.
if I were you, I'd talk to your sponsor.
Yep. Oh yeah, yeah. And the guy sat there, like I said, he's sitting there, he's dogging me, trying to get my goat and stuff like that. And I just laughed at him. I was like, dude, I've been in this set longer than you've been breathing. You know, you're sitting there trying to call me, and he goes, oh, I dare you to call these very well-known Diamond Club 1%ers pansies. And I go, you ever watch my show? Have you ever seen any of my show? I will call you a bitch if you're acting like a bitch. I will act, if you're acting cool, I'm going to act cool with you. But like I said, if you're going to be a bitch, fuck yeah, I don't care if you got a diamond club or not. I will call you a bitch if you're acting like one.
The best show, and no disrespect, Ghost Eagle, the best show I've ever watched, and I think everybody will agree, is when Hollywood had to come with Twitch on. And he says, you're a fucking liar, and kicked him off the show. And I said, right on.
I was trying to tell him, dude, don't let him up because I know the club that he was talking about. And I'm going, dude, go hold. And he had egg on the space.
He was trying to tell everybody that the coalition knew he was a cop and was okay with it. In a 1%
No. He would not even be breathing if they found out that he was a fucking pig.
And so, I sat there and went, dude, I've been to NCOM. I've never seen this cocksucker. I've been to one NCOM.
Your question that you asked people was, why should you be a diamond, right?
Yep.
But the one that I got asked was, why am I choosing this lifestyle?
Yep.
And, I've listened to many people answer that question many different ways. One that I will never accept is for brotherhood.
Right.
That's not an acceptable answer. Do not give me that.
He read a book.
Yep.
Don't give me that shit because you have no clue what brotherhood is. You think it's good and it's wonderful and it's not. It's a pain in the ass and it's aggravating because you take that responsibility on and you actually have to follow through with that shit. So I've gotten out of bed, sitting here laying with my wife, got out of bed at 3:00 in the morning to drive hours to go pick up bros.
Yeah.
Okay. No gas money, no nothing.
Been there, done that.
I get there, bro's not even there no more. He done had some chick pick him up, and now I'm loading his bike and taking it on somewhere else.
I gotta interject on this. So I'm gonna bring up a super old clip that no one has except for probably me. You know what I mean? Do me a favor. I'm going to share this screen right now with you, Frost. Do me a favor and share this.
Okay. Hang on 1 second there. Let me finish this one thing.
Oh, okay. My bad.
So that being said, my question was, why did you choose this lifestyle? My answer was, I didn't choose it. I was born for it, born into it. It's who I am.
Yep.
It chose me. I didn't ask to be here. It said this is where I belong. And it's not a choice whenever you're actually living it, because when it's in your heart and it's on your back, then that means something. I didn't get my motherfucking rags at McDonald's. I had to work for my shit.
Yep.
Or on Temu.
With that being said, Klaus, with that being said, if you ask me now, well, it's who I am, right?
Mhm.
That I am a 1%er
Yep.
through and through. I might not wear a patch anymore, but if you want to step to me, you better step correct.
It's right here.
But see,
I mean, there was a club, East Coast club that stepped to me, and they found out without violence that I earned my shit.
Hmm.
And just because you patch somebody in doesn't make them a 1%er. That's a whole
Exactly.
different story. Now, you asked me 14 years ago, why did I choose this? You know, why do I want to be a 1%er? At that time, I was not a 1%er. I was a 99. I was in a support club. But I always wanted to be a 1%er, but I couldn't because of DOD regulations.
Hmm.
But I always wanted to be. And I found it romanticized. So, I mean, it all depends on who you are and what's going on in your life.
But see,
You were
I've,
born into this life. You
I've
were
turned
brought
it
up
down,
into this
though.
life. For me, I wasn't. My mother fought me, hand and foot at 16 when I got my motorcycle license and my first motorcycle. I came home on my 16th birthday with my first motorcycle. And she's like, "You can't have it. Too late. I already bought it."
Hmm. See,
All
I
right.
never had
All right,
that.
hold on. Let me get
Hold
this
on.
off. This shit is up here. I want to be able to see us again. Real quick on that topic of like 1% and all this shit and
You're gonna
different.
bring up
clubs.
Sos.
I'm gonna bring up an old clip.
No BS. Hard times make the best brothers and friends. Yeah, like a perfect example of true brotherhood to me is Mike Ball.
Yep.
That situation that he went through, losing his leg, the way his brothers held it down for him. I see clubs that abandon people in those situations. I have seen it.
Yep.
I have seen brothers go down and the club just left them for dead, didn't care about them or whatever. Like what the Insanos did for Mike is amazing. You know what I mean? So it don't matter if you got a diamond or what kind of club you are. If you got that type of brotherhood, you winning. You winning, in my opinion. Doesn't matter what kind of club it is.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yep.
And
And let
see,
me ask
that's
you
what
this.
I was gonna say.
How many organizations out there or individuals out there that wear a patch on their back and they got a brother doing time put money on their commissary?
Yep.
Ooh,
That's right.
I could tell you personally, I had a brother doing time. Every month I would hustle and put $200 to $300 on his commissary. And I would go and check on his wife and kids and make sure they had groceries and make sure they had everything they needed. And if they couldn't make rent, I went to the table and told them they can't make rent. It's our responsibility to make sure they make rent because he's incarcerated because of the club.
Yep. Yep.
I could tell you for a fact I did that.
Mhm.
and see, that's
I
brotherhood.
could tell you there's less than 1% of club members that do that. As soon as a brother goes to jail, excommunicated.
Yep. Hey,
The
straight. How you doing, brother?
family is forgotten and pushed to the side like the redheaded stepchild.
Yep.
But when they get out, you're going to sit there looking at his face that says, "Brother, I miss you. You're glad to have you out." Yeah, where were you when he was in?
Exactly.
Ooh,
And see, that's where we come in, because we are real. We've proven ourselves to, whether it be our club or our friends that we've met throughout the trials and tribulations, like the rallies here on the internet, stuff like that. We've proven ourselves. And for me, I sat there and was up for 3 days solid to make sure a brother wasn't going to commit suicide.
Yeah.
I sat there and I made sure I went without. I said, hey, dude, come on over. You come through that door, you got food, you hungry? I'll cook your food. You want something to drink? I got shit to drink. You need something to smoke? I got shit to smoke.
Mike
You know,
Ball, you can attest to this. If I got $100 and a brother needs $100, he's got $100.
Of course.
mhm,
Every time.
Mike Ball could contest this. I did that for Mike Ball. I not peacocking. I'm not tooting my own horn. But when Mike Ball was moving out of California, he was
He
on
did.
a live, and I said,
Mhm.
he's like, man, $20 means so much to me. I said, what does $100 mean to you?
Yeah.
He said, it means the
Yep.
world. And I sat
remember
there and I
that.
gave my brother $100 because I was just monetized, and that's what I got for monetization was $100.
Yep. He did. He told me that.
Yep.
That was real shit.
Hey,
Yep.
that's
Yep,
what it is.
I remember that.
That was real shit.
That's because Mike's my brother. I love him to death. I'd
Mhm.
do anything for him,
Mhm.
to include I'd give him the shirt off my back and the food off my table to make sure he didn't go hungry or he was stuck somewhere with no gas.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, Mike could use my shirt as a fucking nightgown. I mean, it's big enough.
Damn.
That's true.
Well, to cover my knees.
What I'm getting at is that's true brotherhood. And that's something that the clubs of today have gotten away from that they need to get back to. And it really doesn't take much. All it takes is a state of mind saying, I am my brother's keeper. If my
Yep.
brother has, if I have $20, my brother doesn't have $20 and he needs $20, my brother's
Got it.
got $20 and I'm not looking to get paid back or anything like that.
Yep.
Hey,
Yep,
it helps
and
when you
that's
got
like
an old
me.
lady that supports that.
You know,
That's true. That's true. Or you can have no lady at all. And
The only one that
It'd
put
be
money in my
super easy,
canteen was my
but-
old lady.
Yeah.
you know, and if people could get back to supporting one another and loving one another like that, I mean, the world would be a better place.
facts.
Yep.
I'm going to sign out, guys. I'll see you
Yes,
next
sir.
time.
All
Fight
right,
you,
Grab 'em.
man.
See you
Boom.
later,
brother.
But peace, love, and respect, man.
Thank you
All
for
right, love
coming
you
on.
guys.
Yep.
Always a good time.
Good night,
And
guys.
that's one thing that I always try to interject with our, in my shows, what it means to be a real brotherhood, not just in title, not just in name, but
Or a
getting back
phrase that
together.
sounds cool.
Mhm.
Yeah. And for me, my brotherhood means the world to me because that's, for me, I was not, in a family home. I was taken out of my home, put in foster care after foster care when I was a kid.
Sorry to hear that.
I was taken several times by the Diamond Club into safety because of the abuse that I was facing. I was facing sexual abuse, being molested, being tormented, beaten up every day. Every night I sit there and I get woke up by the Diamond Club. And when I came of age, they said, goes, okay, why are you here? And I go, to be with my family. I want to be in a place where I belong
Yep, right on.
because this is my heart. This is where I belong. I belong in this. My family gave up on me. I was kicked out of the house when I was 13. I was on the streets. I had no family to call. I had no support from my family. But you know who was there? Our brotherhood.
Yep.
I
Brotherhood is
grew
a
up.
term that is used and misused today.
Hmm?
That the OGs are rolling in their grave. That
Yep.
they need to get back to because that old saying, "I am my brother's keeper."
Yep. And I do have a surprise coming up with that Brothers Keeper. I'm making some stuff. I've seen some really cool things. I'm making a really cool banner that says Brothers Keeper. And it's going to be a cool deal. I'm working on little by little, getting some
Coach
things.
Eagle, when you're ready, let me know. I'm in for one.
Yep. Because it's not going to be used with normal fonts, if you will. I found some really cool deals, and I'm getting them done up within if memory because I suck with memory. I've had
PRS, can't remember shit.
Oh yeah. I got some timers. Sometimes I remember. Sometimes, oh look, shiny thing, Macarena, squirrel.
We all got that.
But, and we are our brother's keeper, and that's the other thing that's dead in our brotherhood.
Because people started chasing patches. That's exactly what it is. They're chasing patches. They're chasing positions. They're
Mm-hmm.
wanting notoriety. But what they're not doing
Yep.
is they're not taking the time to learn the proper knowledge, the way to move, what to do, how to do it, what to say, how to say it, when to say it. They're
Mm-hmm.
not learning all that anymore.
Yep.
So it's them patch chasers. And
Yeah.
that messes you up because you need to be able to take the time to learn all that. It's gonna
Mm-hmm.
make you feel so much better at the end of the day knowing that you earned that.
How
Yeah.
are they slipping through the cracks, Frost? That's what my question is.
They're
Well,
slipping through the
if
cracks because people aren't doing their due diligence anymore like they used to. They're wanting to
well,
chase patches. But see, the thing about me is I don't give a fuck about the patch. I don't give a fuck about the diamond or not diamond or whatever. I'm not chasing any of that. I don't give a fuck about the officer positions. Because at the end of the day, if you can't make a difference without all that shit, you're not going to make a difference with it.
Well, I
yep.
could tell you early on as a patch, I had aspirations to be a sergeant at arms.
Mm-hmm.
I really did. I really wanted to be a sergeant at arms.
Mm-hmm.
Right hand man to the P. Answer to
Yep.
nobody but the P. But then when I found out what the sergeant at arms job is,
I love it.
I
It's
didn't
tough as
want that
fuck.
job.
Mm-hmm.
I sat there and says, you know what? I'd rather be just a plain Jane soldier and take care of my club, take care of my brothers, take care of my family. And that's all that matters. As far as at that, I would say maybe a year and a half into being a patch, that's when it came to me. And I tell you, with the aspirations of becoming sergeant at arms, and the sergeant at arms saw that, he felt threatened because I had a better rapport with the rest of the members, that he was afraid I would get the votes and he wouldn't. He started trying to make my life hard
It's politics.
with the politics.
Yeah,
Yep.
politics. That's some
And
bullshit, ain't it?
yeah, and I sat there and said, wow, you're my brother from another mother before the club. And now I'm looking at your job saying, I'd love to do that job. And now you got it in for me? Are you kidding me?
Yep.
This is brotherhood?
Whoa.
At least in the Army, I used to train my lowest privates to do my job as a senior leader.
But your lowest privates would also hold their people accountable. That's how it was with me in the Army, right? If you were fucked up, the Joes are gonna say you're fucked up.
Yeah.
And that's how it slips through the crack, man. When good men fail to do things in the face of evil.
But
how many times have we
in
sit
the
there and
MC
seen
world, in the MC world, right? I will have my brother, correct me if I'm wrong, I will have my brother's back, right or wrong, in public. But when we're private, I will let him know he was wrong and we will handle it.
Two different stories.
Yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it.
Right
Two
there.
different stories.
No, they're not, Mike.
Yeah, but there are. I will 100% back you in public. 1000%. No matter what you could fucking murder someone in front of me. I got your back, dude. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the way it is, right? But when it comes down to me and you, that's a whole separate conversation.
Yep.
Well, at
So
a certain point, you gotta
I
have
lost,
them like, hey,
I lost a lifelong friend
Yep.
and brother because of the fact I had aspirations of his job as sergeant at arms. And me being me, he had his anniversary coming up. I sat there and text messaged him, wow, man, happy anniversary. How the time flies. And I am so happy for you that you're still part of that world and I'm not. Congratulations. And then I went to his anniversary party to congratulate him and be there for him. And he turned a cold shoulder and turned his back to me.
Yep.
Now I'm a civilian at his house.
Mm-hmm.
I grabbed him aside. I said, look, not for nothing. You might be a sergeant at arms and you might be a patch member of this charter still, and I'm not. Don't you ever fucking turn your back to me again. Be the last thing you ever do. I'm here for you and to congratulate and celebrate you, and you turn your back to me?
Yep.
I said, you could go fuck yourself. And I left.
Mm-hmm.
See, to me, the reason I like that position is because if your club allows you to use it the right way,
Mm-hmm.
that is a very efficient position.
It
Yes,
is if you have a good enforcer,
Yep.
which is appointed by the sergeant at arms.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And see, for me, I didn't want the prez spot because
Oh, fuck no.
with the prez spot, then I lose my voice. I lose my right to vote inside my club. Prez don't get a
Yep.
vote.
Nope.
So
You do in a tie.
yeah, in a tie,
That's the only thing you get is a tiebreaker. But
What up,
exactly.
Grizz?
I was only put into that position twice.
But see,
Hey,
I want to be
Grizz,
able
how you
to.
doing, brother?
I want to be able to have my vote. I want to be able to have my voice. So
Real?
fuck the president's position. I will turn it down every time. The
Well,
VP position, I don't want to deal with all that bullshit. I will turn that down every time. Now the sergeant position, however, I like it because I believe in checks and balances, and if you have the right person in that role, then
mm-hmm.
that is going to be a strong club.
Now,
Now
Yep.
correct
that
me if
being
I'm wrong.
said, that person in that role is responsible for fining the president and the VP just as they would any other member of that club.
Now,
Yep.
correct me if I'm wrong. The sergeant at arms should know intimately the bylaws.
Yep.
Of course.
Every
He
ounce of
needs
that
to know it more
bylaw.
than everybody
And
else.
should have a copy with him at every church.
Yep.
Just in
Yep.
case there's a question, you could refer to the bylaws. And if it's
Yep.
left up into interpretation, then it's up to the table.
It needs
Now,
to be in his motorcycle.
that's why I
all
like
the time.
being a regular soldier, because I had a voice in every vote. I had a voice in everything that club did, where if you were the VP, sergeant at arms, secretary, treasurer, whatever offices you held, your voice was kind of limited due to your allegiance of your position.
Yep.
So for me,
Think
right?
about that. Think about it. If you're in an elected or an appointed position, your allegiance is to one person only. Where if you're a soldier, your allegiance is to the house.
Yep.
And it should be that way with your sergeant.
Should.
Because
Yep.
if your
And I was
sergeant
that way.
is doing the position correctly, your sergeant is the one that says, hey, look, this is black and white. Okay? I don't give a fuck what my opinion is at the end of the day, personally. If that's what the bylaws state, that's what the bylaws state.
Yeah, but the bylaws also state at the very end, subject to change at the needs of the club.
Yep.
And the needs of the club
Subject to
is
change
the
at the needs of
officers.
the club means that we got to take a vote on it.
The needs of the club means the needs of the officers.
Yep. And see, I was told a few times.
If you have 3 officers vote on something, on a non-church, it's passed.
Yep.
On using Robert's Rules of Order, if you have 3 officers agree on a vote, that the rest of the table is not going to vote. So they say, hey, it's Saturday. Let's talk about this. Hey, how do you guys vote? And they all say, yeah, let's do it. Now the rest of the table's got to eat it.
And that's abuse of power,
See,
too.
we didn't have it like that.
Hello,
Ours
there's the
wasn't
human
set up that
element.
way.
The human element that will take over.
It does. It happens all the time.
Yep.
Where if you're a regular member, you have the right to say, whoa, wait a minute, timeout, bullshit, ain't happening.
Mm-hmm. And see, that's one of the things, as we're speaking about bylaws, I was told by a 1%er club that they don't need bylaws. They don't care for them. And I'm going, oh, nope. I'm back in you guys.
Bullshit.
No,
my organization, we had bylaws.
Yeah. It's like, dude, you guys call yourselves 1%er? Fuck you. You guys don't have bylaws? Fuck you. They're going, what? It's like, you heard me. I go, I'm not even going to be near your club because you guys don't have bylaws. You don't have anything. So you guys can make up anything, do whatever you guys think you guys can do.
Yep.
All because of that cut. All because of that diamond right here. No.
I've written bylaws. I was a member of the Combat Vets Motorcycle Association, and I helped break off a detachment from the original chapter here in Connecticut to form a second chapter. And I wrote the bylaws for the detachment to become I almost had to get a law degree to write these bylaws.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the local chapter to approve these bylaws. It was the nationals that had to approve these bylaws. And I was one of the key players, if not the key player, of doing all this paperwork to start the second chapter in Connecticut for the Combat Vets Motorcycle Association. Much love, respect to anybody that's in the CVMA. Thank you for what you do, Vets Helping Vets. I respect that.
Brother Beaker that comes on my show is part of the CVMA.
And to the point where I was so deep into the CVMA, I was not an officer on a national level, but I would talk to the national officers and say, whoa, time out. Let's look at this. You know what I mean? And I was a local guy, and I was a sergeant of arms for the second chapter, and I was a road captain at one time for the original chapter. And when you get to the point of bylaws and you have them and people aren't following them, then you have a problem of a dictatorship over a democracy. And some people believe that clubs should be run as a dictatorship and not a democracy, which is completely false, because it's the members that drive the club. It's not the officers that drive the club.
Exactly.
And for me, when I was Sergeant Arms, I loved that job because everybody knew how I stood. I didn't say, okay, well, this person's washing my back, that person's doing this favor for me. No. I was club all, everybody had that equal voice, and everybody sat there and looked up to me and said, hey, how'd you get so smart? What made you do this? It's like, I learned young. I learned what proper etiquette was for the brotherhood, for the clubs, because I want to be fair for everybody. I want to sit there and listen to everybody's views.
Yeah.
I would hate to be a politician because, when I come up to a debate, it's like, hey, listen here, fuckers. And it's like, we got to have each other's voice. We got to sit there and be able to help each other grow within our community, within our brotherhood.
Yep.
And a lot of people failed that.
Yeah, because it's out for personal gain. I don't know how many presidents that I've seen of local chapters saying, I'm the president of this chapter, respect me. And I'd look at them and say, really, respect is earned, not given.
Yep. If people chased the brotherhood's meaning like they chase pussy, man, we would be seventh heaven.
You know how many times I've looked at one of the top 5 clubs that says, look, I respect your patch, but I don't respect you. You have not given me one reason to respect you as a man, but I respect your patch. And because of that, I'm going to turn around and walk away.
Yep.
You got NCLs like that in the Army.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I used to sit there when I was an NCO in the Army. I used to sit there and, I ran my show like it was not a dictatorship. It was a democracy. And yeah, we had orders and everything. And I'd have this fresh lieutenant, fresh out of either West Point or OCS or whatever, look at me and say, hey, Sarge, I got a great idea. And I look at him and says, I'm not a fish. What do you mean? He says, Sarge is a fish. No, it's not. Look it up. Get back to me.
Yep.
And it comes back. All right, Sergeant, I have an idea. Okay, what's your idea, sir? Well, Army aviation, right? We can't pull over if something breaks or maintenance wasn't done right and the aircraft goes down. I have a great idea of doing maintenance. Oh, sir, I'd love to listen to your ideas. Please tell me, after 20 years of being in the Army and Army aviation, how you, fresh out of college, could tell me how to do maintenance. Please, I am really looking forward to it. And he goes, you being a wise ass? No, I'm just saying, you fresh out of the academy or ROTC or OCS. I've been 20 years in the military in Army aviation. I'm really looking forward to hearing your ideas. And he'd come up with the most asinine thing that was not, that basically, don't do this because people will die. I used to go to my platoon and say, all right, guys, if Lieutenant so-and-so asked how we did it, you're going to tell them we did it this way. And they look at me, what? Are you stupid doing it that way? No, we're going to do it the right way. We're going to do it by the book.
Yep.
Well, if he asked, we did it his way just to make him feel good.
Let me ask you this real quick. So you said that you've helped work on bylaws. Has anybody else on here helped work with bylaws? Okay, you have too. Okay,
I've written 3 different clubs bylaws, including myself.
Amazing. Hang on one second. So this question is, for some of the newer people we have out here, civilian wise, that might be trying to start up clubs or thinking about starting up clubs and working on writing their bylaws. If they come to you and they say, hey man, look, I just want to see how this sounds, blah, blah, blah. Are you the type of bro to be honest with them and be like, yo, you're not thinking 20 years from now, okay? Right now, you're thinking about how to set it up for your 5 to get started.
Sure.
And I understand that, but you're going to be bringing in more people, more chapters eventually. So what you need to do as someone who is writing the bylaws, you need to think about the future, and you need to think about every possible loophole that they are going to try to pull and write the proper word for word definition of what you mean.
I got the same concept with the United States to this very moment.
So
I can answer this question.
Go ahead.
Dr. Harley said that, it was like reading law books and learning law to write these bylaws. And that's what made me think that, because I'm that type of person. I actually have someone that I'm working with right now helping set up something. And they came to me, they asked me, and he was like, yo, look, mine is like shit right now. I'm trashing everything, and then I'll send you something else. Because I don't even want you to see what it is now. I'm like, no, show me now and let me critique it. Some of the stuff you can probably keep, but I know that there's going to be stuff you want to change, but you want to think further down the road than right now.
Yep.
So here's my recommendation. Someone who wants to start an organization or a club, and they're going to write bylaws, which is a good thing because you know what? That's the rule book. Now, you put in your bylaws annually, there is a bylaw review that cannot nor ever will be infringed upon on a certain date or by a certain date. So annually, once a year, whether it's a January calendar year or fiscal year, that's up to you. That your organization gets together and reviews the bylaws to make changes to the bylaws that fits that organization for that time.
So the
bylaws that are written in 1940 for a club will not fly today.
Yeah.
Bylaws that are written in 1980 will not fly for today. Bylaws that are written in 2020 will not fly for today. But if you have it in your bylaws that you have a bylaws all hands on deck meeting to discuss the bylaws, to go over the bylaws, and to propose changes to the bylaws to fit the organization and the time period, then you will set yourself up for a successful future, not just for now, but also for 10 years from now, 20 years from now, because it's in the original bylaws not to be infringed upon nor be deleted, that you have an annual bylaw meeting to make changes.
Now that being said, are you doing that per charter or chapter or nationwide or both?
Well, when you start a club, it's local. Now, the club I belonged to was a small local club. We were in 4 different states. We had 7 different chapters. Not that big of a club, but pretty decent where we got noticed. It was an all hands on deck meeting, which means every year was at a different location. And if you could not make the meeting, it was $100 fine per member, payable to each charter. So for argument's sake, let's say Mike Ball's charter, he's got 10 members and 5 made it. Well, 5 of his members got to pay a fine of $100 a piece. That's $500 more in his kitty because they didn't make the bylaws meeting. And if they have any problems with the changes to the bylaws, well, you should have been there.
Yep. And one of the things that is hard.
It works on a local and a regional or national level.
Of course, it's a multi-layer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you're writing the bylaws,
goes into play, but
and when you're writing the bylaws, it's hard if you got some knucklehead that's got blinders and that's only sees his way.
That's why it takes the whole membership to get there and iron this out.
Yeah, because I've seen it before where the guy's sitting there, he's like, nope, this is what I'm going to have, this is what I'm going to have, this is what I'm going to have. And it's, you come to me or us, one of us for help, and you only got blinders on, you're setting yourself up to fail.
Yep. See, my charter had a rule. My charter had a rule. If you showed up for a bylaws meeting impaired, whether it was with 420 or alcohol,
didn't matter.
You were charged $150 fine for showing up because you did not have clear eyes and a clear mind to make decisions to steer the club.
Correct.
Yep.
Like that.
For the betterment of the club. Correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
you can't do that while impaired.
No, you can't.
You can't make super logic. You can't say that when you're buzzed, you make better decisions when you're buzzed. You can't.
No.
You can't say that. You can't make that claim. It's impossible.
No,
so,
I drive better after 3 beers.
Yeah. Hey, I talk to my rally people better when I have some beers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trust me.
I'm not slamming
I got
words.
my tall can.
Hey, officer, I'm not slurring my words. I'm just speaking cursive.
Yeah, that's right. You laugh.
I'm not gonna
Look,
lie.
I'm just waiting for the stop sign to change from red to green. Okay.
You
I do talk better to them motherfuckers after I've smoked a little bit. I ain't gonna lie.
I speak
Yeah,
better
but-
Spanish when I'm drunk too. You know what I mean?
When you
But
have a
I
bylaws
passed all those-
meeting,
Hey, straight jacket knows.
when you have a
Hey, how
bylaws
many
meeting,
times have we sat there and got pulled over and did that drunk test?
when you have a bylaws meeting at a club level, not a charter or a chapter level, at a club level,
Uh huh.
and
National.
if everybody is there and everybody's twisted,
Yep.
nothing's getting done, nothing's getting advanced. You're setting yourself up for failure. Now,
Yep.
if you show up and everybody in that meeting is of clear mind and soul, and you openly speak your mind, and there's no holds barred, and there's no repercussions for speaking your mind. You know,
Dr. Harley, so something weird. So in my bylaws, I will allow this one thing out is that no one is allowed to drink until after the meeting's done. If we're having church, you know, it's actually in the bylaws where it states that no one can be drinking or be impaired into the meeting, during the meeting, and until the very end. Once everything is concluded, once that gavel hits, all right, now it's time. Like, all right, now we can drink, we can have a good time. Business was finished.
Yep.
Now it's time to enjoy ourselves. We
yeah.
had to
See,
get
now
serious.
we used to put on a facade, right? We would talk about club business, and there's no drinking and no use of anything during club business. Now, when we be the prospects, and okay, then we load up with beers and pack the bowls and whatever, and bring the prospects in.
Yeah.
This is what you're doing this weekend.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And they would sit there. What the fuck? We're outside in the cold and the rain and the snow and the heat, and they're in here drinking and smoking and having a good time.
Yep. When
We
I
give
was at
that
a club,
perception saying we earn that right to be here.
Yep.
You need to earn that right to be here.
Yep.
Yep.
Meanwhile, when they get patched, their first full meeting as a patch going, hey, I'm going to grab a beer. You better not grab a beer until we bring the prospects in. What do you mean?
Man, I don't drink a beer until I'm offered that shit. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest. I mean, that's
I
the
used
way
to
I
grab
play
a
the
beer,
whole game.
crack the beer, and leave it in front of my seat when the prospects come in. And I would not drink that beer no matter how warm it got. I would not drink that beer until the gavel hit.
That's right. And that's good to do for your own nation. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Let alone for yourself, and the betterment of the organization is for you to do that. So I commend that. Hence why it was something that I wanted to implement. As much of a degenerate I am, you know what I mean? But there's time and a place for it, right? And that's us as adults is understanding the difference between the two, right? Like when business is business, it's time to get real. It's time for us to fucking be there and understand and think logically and have good conclusions to things. But you can't really do that when you're kind of high on left-handed tobacco.
Some of those decisions could be, are we going to war with this club or that club?
Absolutely. It can make the difference.
Or are we going to go rip the diamond off this club? Or are we going to go to this club and support them?
Right. Well,
or are we going to go to that club and support them? Or are we going to serve fish and chips or pizza on Friday night? You know, no matter how big or little that decision is made, the decision's got to be made with clear minds and clear eyes.
Yep. And when we had meetings, we had a couple of the prospects take all the alcohol out, and no one knew who it was, just a couple of people. So that way they weren't intimidated to get the alcohol in during the meeting. Because if you're in a meeting, you're there for a reason. You're there to take care of business. You're there to sit there and make sure that all the dots are dotted, all the T's are crossed. I mean, everything needs to be said and done with a clear mind.
Yep.
And if you're thinking about going behind that bar, getting that drink,
Or that
you're
shot.
focused on, you're not there to focus on what needs to be done.
Yep.
Business needs to be taken care of first.
And let's speak plainly. Sometimes that business is you grab that brother of yours and you step outside and you handle it.
You know?
I mean,
Somebody
I've come home
handle
from
that
church a
Nightbot
couple
in my
times.
chat.
I've come home a couple of times from church with black eyes, a bloody lip. You know what I mean? Because I had to handle business with my own brother, and I hated it. But it's going to happen when you get a group of alpha males together.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's done, it's done. And I can tell you right now, every brother I went fisticuffs with, I still talk to today. I still respect today. They still respect me. And we are tighter than other. Matter of fact, one of the brothers I went fisticuffs with, we prospected together. You can't get a tighter bond than two people that prospected together.
Yep.
You really can't. And he and I had a disagreement to the point where I put $50 down on the table. He put $50 down on the table. We went outside and handled business. And the sergeant at arms was there as referee.
See?
And I ain't
Another
ashamed to
good
it.
thing about being a sergeant.
And you know what? And I'm not ashamed to admit, that little bastard was half my size, hit like a fucking brick wall.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I came home with two black eyes and a busted lip. But when it was done, it was done.
Yep. And GG goes, yep. Yeah. It's supposed to be that way, right? But,
but you know, I'm also a firm believer you're not supposed to physically fight with your brothers, but at times it happens.
No, I'm actually the same stance, believe it or not. But
So,
you know, there are times that there are nuances to literally every situation, right? But
I disagree.
But hold on. Okay, all right. Well, I was just about to sign off, but let's go ahead and do this. Let's do this.
So I disagree
I'm up for a debate
because for me, I'm that type of bro. I'm looking at my bylaws and I'm asking, yo, what was that fine again? Because I will gladly take these rags off, hand them to another bro, and step outside with a bro if it's needed. I'm not the type to just, go off and do some shit but there are them times where as men, okay, we can't be afraid to be punched in the fucking mouth.
Of course not.
It teaches respect. And that's why the world is the way the world is now.
But he's not your brother for no reason, right?
People's afraid to get punched in the mouth. Look, whether you are my blood brother, my bike brother, or one of my street
you voted
brothers,
him in.
Regardless, you are my bro.
Yep.
And as my bro, I'm gonna handle it the way that we need to handle it. So I'll tell you straight up, yo, look, we stepping outside real quick.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Okay, Doc, go ahead.
Right on that aspect, you're my bro. We're gonna handle it. Now picture this: you prospected with this person. You sat there at the gate with this person, and because of time, you got patched before this person, and you voted him in. And now you have a disagreement with him for the first time in 18 months. Now you're gonna have to man up with him and handle it like men. All right. Yeah, he hit like each punch landed like a ton of bricks, but in my heart, it hit 10 times worse.
Let me ask you.
Every time I hit him, it hurt. It hit me 10 times worse.
Absolutely, and as it should, if you get in that predicament. Now, the best thing to do is to avoid that, right?
I love him to death.
Right. So if you do, you know what I mean? That's the whole point of the whole thing, right? Is if you love your brother, yes, there are times beatings come, and I'm talking, it's good for you type shit, big brother type stuff. Okay, sure. But the truth is, I mean, I fucked up a million times during my prospectship and through my membership and through me being an officer and all of this. Why didn't my national fucking beat my ass? Why didn't he say, hey, you know what? Your decision making is fucking ass.
Maybe
why don't you me and you we got a disagreement here. We need to go outside and handle this shit.
Because if he taught you the correct way using that method, wouldn't have taught you anything other than hatred towards your brother.
Correct. And then I would have probably even hated not only the hatred towards my brother and the brotherhood of that aspect, but I'd probably hate the generational aspect of it.
Look,
so that's even worse.
But see, as men, we should be able to walk outside, throw some fucking hands, and then come in and have this drink. Move on.
I agree. I agree, but you're thinking guerrilla style. Okay. Here's the difference of us is we are always looking for the betterment of our brothers. So yes, when an ass beating is warranted to the point where that's the only thing that's going to teach him a lesson, that's when you resort to it. I agree.
I tell you what, he called me a liar to the table. What are you going to do? And the bylaws say if you're going to throw hands with a brother, you got to throw $50 on the table. I jumped up out of my seat like a jack in the box with
Start throwing money
in my hand. I said, and I grabbed him by his cut and said, let's go outside.
Here's $1,500. Here's $1,500. I got 16 on him. Yep.
And you know what? He looked at me and says, I don't have $100. I don't have $50. I reached in my wallet and says, hold on. Here's your 50. Let's go.
I would have done the same thing. That's what I said. I'll go to the bylaws and then I ask the bros, yo, how much is that fine? Because if it comes down to that, then I've already made that decision in my mind that's how it's got to be handled. That fine is worth it to me. I will gladly lay down them rags.
But why do you get to decide that over me?
Here's the best part, right?
You're too cute, Mike.
Treasurer goes, hey, we made 100.
That answer, GG. That's the only acceptable answer I'll take. You know, good job. I'll give it to you. You know.
Here's the best part. The treasurer looked at the president and says, hey, we made $100 over two assholes fighting over bullshit.
Exactly.
I looked at him and said, really? He's like, yeah, really. And my brother, who I was with last week, throwing fists, he goes, really? We each threw $50 on the table and grabbed him, brought him outside and says, shut your fucking mouth.
Well, see, I don't use violence unless I absolutely have to.
Last resort.
I would rather discuss the things with the person, but
me too.
If that person crosses that line and
like calls you a liar at your table. If you're called a liar at your table, what are you going to do?
That's okay. Hold on. Nuance. Okay. Yep. So I'm just going to recognize that. If you call me a liar at the table, okay, that's a whole different level of disrespect to me, the organization as a whole. That I am there to represent the organization as a whole, not myself.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Especially as an officer, right? That's my duty. And if you were to call me, in which, believe it or not, I've run into weird things like that, and I'm sure you have too.
Yep.
Just like anybody in hardcore situations, when people get pressed, they start fucking get weird on the defenses and shit. Oh, you know, yeah, that's some next level disrespect that I would never put up with.
Well, here's the kicker. He found out I didn't lie to him. He found out he was getting twisted through politics.
Yep.
Happens every day.
Yep.
Oh, you're surprised? I go, my answer to that is, oh, you're surprised that it was changed? Your perception of this shit was changed by propaganda? It was changed by this shit?
Within the club, but in a different charter.
Right. Happens all the fucking time.
So he looked at me and says, brother, I'm sorry we had to do that. I'm like, I'm not. He goes, what do you mean? I says, I learned a whole new respect for you.
It's
one
different.
I would never have learned until we did it.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yep. That's the best
so
part.
I don't regret a thing. I just regret the fact you called me a liar to the table.
Of course, that's different level.
He says, I will never do that again. I says, good, because next time be different.
No, that's a life lesson. Let that be a life lesson forever.
He's a lot younger than me, and I looked at him and I said,
But
"Well,
see,
young blood."
everyone deserves that chance
Yep,
to
and I said to him-
understand. Like, okay, you get this one chance to survive on this shit. You know what I mean? You get one real good fuck up, and that's one of them.
Mhm. Yep. And see, a lot of them learn that way because, you know, even though we lay hands on them, there's a lot of them that are, again, blinders because they're being fed bullshit by a different club or a person that wants your position.
One
You know, they
individual.
sit there and they are wanting that deal, but when you knock their ass out and you sit there and say, okay, now you guys done? Let's go in. Be a brother.
That was
Be
title
that brother
politics.
that we're here.
That's
You know?
title politics, fighting for a responsibility and
Yep.
for
Yeah.
glory for your own
There was
selfish
one.
benefit. You know,
There
what I
was
mean?
Yep.
one member. I won't call him a brother because he was never a brother. There was one member in one charter who was a cancer to the whole organization because he was a narcissist. It was all about him, and
Yep.
he would preach to his
Happens.
old lady, "Don't talk to me this way because I'm a 1%er."
Mhm.
That there tells me you're not, because if you have to announce who you are, you're not who you
Yeah,
are.
if you ever have to
Nope.
justify your position,
Mhm.
unless it's
Yep.
a scheduled debate, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, yeah, bro.
And
It's ma'am.
I sat down with this president one day. We were just chatting. He says, "I will never let a narcissist sit at my table." I says, "Really? You might want to look right."
Yeah, just look right there.
Yep.
He's right
He
there.
goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "When you sit at your church, turn your head to the right. You got a narcissist right there." He says, "No, I
Yep.
don't." I says, "Look up the definition and then get back to me." Because I'm the president. I don't have to. I'm like, and therein lies the problem.
Yep. And like I said, they're chasing that title. They think, okay, well, because I'm this, I'm that. They're above the laws. It's like, no, you're not. You're susceptible to the same laws we all are because we are
Actually,
all
you're more
doing the
restricted.
same thing.
You're more restricted.
Hmm.
You are more restricted as an officer than you are as a soldier. Like I said before, I'd rather
Yep.
be a soldier than an officer because
Yep.
you are the steering force of that organization. I don't care if it's an MC, RC, a Fortune 500 company, or whatever.
Yep.
If you
Hey,
are
Charles, how you doing, brother?
or the U.S. Army, if you're the foot soldier, you are the steering force of that organization.
Yep.
The officers are there to be the face of the club
I hear you,
and do what the
officers.
membership tells them to do. And once you get away from that, saying, "I'm the president, we're doing this," then you have a problem. Then you have a bad organization that will not lie.
I agree with that,
Yep.
SNS. He says
SNS
the
is right. The
president
P should be the most restricted of all.
Listen, the entire time I served as president, I didn't touch a single fucking dollar. Not a single time. And I would have people handing me money. I'd say, nope.
And you were the most humbled.
Hand that over right there.
You were the most humbled.
No,
You know,
no, it's a matter of understanding the position when you take it. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, I understand my it's just like when you take a job. You know what I mean? You understand what the minimum requirements are. You know what they expect of you. It's just like that. You know what I mean? So if I understand the rules going in and I go, hey, I understand, hey, I can't vote on everything. I understand that I can't X, Y, and Z. Well, then you really don't, you can't fight that. And I really am not mad at that. You know, I'm actually the one that wants to embrace that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I want to show like, hey, like this is what I signed for. Like, well, ironically, every single position I ever had in the club, every single one of them, I declined every single one of them. Every single position, but every single time, my national had to step in and say, no, you are the right decision for this.
Yep.
saying, no, they think as a body that you are the best position for that. Right now, here, right now, that's what they voted on. You need to take that. That's your responsibility.
Yep.
And
I
was like, fuck no, man. I don't want that shit, man.
Oh,
But I was good with it though. You know what I mean? I understood the mindset of such positions. It changes per position.
Yep. See, I want to thank Frost real quick, man, for letting me vent my frustrations with the lifestyle, because there are a lot of frustrations. And if you've been in the life, you probably feel the same frustrations.
Yeah, you would have frustrations. Yeah.
I want to thank you for letting us air it out on your channel, man. Much love, respect to you. You know what I mean? Thank you very much, because you could shut us down at any given point in time. Says enough's enough. Yeah. But you know what? Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
That's dope.
That is the brainchild behind Kickstandz Down, man. When I was thinking about this, I wanted to make sure that we did talk, we did chill, we did all that. When you put your kickstands down, you're at the clubhouse, you're chilling, you're with your bros, you're hanging out, you're having a good time. All right, it don't even have to be the clubhouse. It can be a bar. It could be on the side of the interstate, on some back road in the mountains, overlooking everything. Wherever it is, you drop them kickstands. You chilling with your bros.
Yep.
All right. The same conversations we're having right now is conversations that I would have with my bros. I would have at church. I would do all that because
like-minded, right?
Exactly. Like, you want to be able to voice it, but not everyone either takes that seriously, or not everyone wants to voice it.
Or they downplay what you're bringing up, where it's just swept away.
Exactly.
Yep.
Because it's drama they don't want to deal with, even though it's in their face.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they don't want to face the reality. They get that bad case of ostrigitis.
I was that drama in my club, by the way.
I know.
Did you say ostrigitis?
Ostrigitis.
Let me clarify.
Ostrich vagina? I like vagina.
Outstretched vagina? Ew. I didn't know Harris was over here.
Oh, no.
Man, no.
I'm gonna kick your ass.
Oh, I don't want to picture that gaping clam. Come on.
Look, you have my wife over here singing this fucking song that's gonna be stuck in her head for hours now. So I really don't like you at the moment.
All right, how about this one?
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I have to split. I do have to be up early in the morning for the show and prepare everything. So much love.
I gotta be out of the house by 7 a.m.
Yeah, you're that sucks for you.
Yeah.
You know, life decisions, right? You know,
Yep.
I'm just kidding.
We got
much love, respect, honor. Much love, honor, respect, Mr. Mike.
Yeah, man. We always have a good time, man.
And Pacific. We got all the time zones on here right now.
Oh, of course. Around the world, dude. So that's the beauty of the internet. That's why I'm here. You know what I mean? It's amazing. That's why I saw this incoming from the very stages of MySpace.
Yep.
That's when I predicted all of it. I was like, wow. Yep. Swear to God.
You know what I do miss about MySpace is the fact that you could personalize your
dude. I'm a top back then. So this is really weird. Analytics. I was top 10,000 MySpace accounts on MySpace.
I remember having MySpace. I was pretty up there.
That's when I understood social media, and that's what it started, that whole trend. And then it was like Facebook, then Instagram, and all that shit. And I just embraced it all, right? So
I got MySpace because there was a friend of mine that I met on one of the car forums that she was on MySpace, and I wanted to see pictures of her because she seemed kind of sexy, and she actually was. So that's why I got on MySpace.
Hell yeah! See, it's always a woman. It's always a woman. The influence is real. The influence is real.
We used to rate our friends like by coolest. From one
Yes,
to however
yes,
many,
top
yeah.
top 5. Yes, some had
You
top
could you
10.
could change it top however
Dude,
many you
yep,
want.
dude, I had it all. Yep. Sometimes I
Hey,
only had one guy or one woman or whoever that is top. And then, yeah, dude, I used to do all that shit. I
You
remember it.
know, I just got into a fight with Facebook because my no,
Fuck
listen.
Facebook, bro.
So Facebook
What are you, a
tries to
boomer?
tell me I
Get on
got
Instagram.
money. Facebook tries to tell me, you know, I got Meta. Let me put it that way. Meta in general tries to tell me,
Hey,
yo,
Hebrew brother, how
you
you
got
doing,
money
man?
here. You got money here from where you're able to be monetized, but you got to set up a payout account. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. I go to set up the payout account. As you know, my profile is not on my government name. It is that guy
Then you're
Frost.
fucked.
And they was like, yo, so we cannot take your ID as identification. And
Yeah,
I
you're
was
fucked.
like,
like
yes, you
Ocho
can.
Cinco.
No, look.
Motherfucker, how you expect to get paid if they don't know your name?
No, look,
He's got to
check this
change
out.
his name to that guy Frost.
I did.
Later, Doug.
So,
Bro, I've been monetized for like 7 years on
no, listen.
like all these platforms, man. Come
Listen,
on, man.
so this is what I did.
Get real.
So they tell me they can't take my government ID as that guy Frost's identification.
Of course not. It's
So
gonna
I
match.
found out that there's an affidavit of identification that you can get. So in the affidavit of identification, it says that that guy Frost is my professional known alias.
You just sound like a liberal.
It's a
And
DBA, doing business as.
You just
No,
sound
look.
like you're trying to get around the loopholes. Fuck
no,
that.
look.
I
So
No,
feel it's
it's
just
simple.
drawing.
You do it. You go to your town hall.
I'm just calling a
You
spade a
give your
spade.
government name, doing business as such and such. Like my Dr. Harley channel, I am Robert Chop, doing business as Dr. Harley now. So I have a DBA.
But you have an
Dr. Harley.
LLC though, right? And you have an IEN number, right?
Nope.
How do you not with your entire company?
I don't.
because
For your entire shop and your
if he's
Dr.
a
Harley,
sole
nothing?
proprietorship,
Shop
all he's
is
got to do
different.
is use his social.
Shop is different.
Okay,
Different.
so it's not labeled the same. Okay, so
No.
Interesting, because my name since I came on the internet was under an LLC to that day. You know what I mean? And I guess that I looked at it from a different worldview. It's almost like you get a name, you lock it down, well, you fucking secure it somehow, right? And that was my mentality as a young kid.
That's it. That
3
guy
DBAs.
Frost is copywritten. It's trademarked. It is now court documented as my known entity, my identity.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So therefore,
right. So
now
you
Facebook
secured
has
it.
to accept it. They finally just accepted it.
Yep.
Good.
So I'm like, yeah. Fuck
I had
y'all.
the same problem with Facebook because I have 3 DBAs.
A lot of
I have
bureaucracy.
Dr. Harley's. I have
Red
Dr.
tape.
Harley, Dr. Harley's Garage, and Chops Custom Cycles. And I'm doing business as all 3.
Right.
Right
Under
now,
one
Dr. Harley's
umbrella.
Garage is doing 0 business.
Yep.
Because the shop hasn't opened up yet. But my garage is Chops Custom Cycles. So I'm Robert Chop doing business as Chops Custom Cycles. So if somebody wrote a check out to Chops Custom Cycles, I could legally deposit that.
Yep.
Right.
Because I have a DBA signed with the town hall.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
I mean, that's the same thing.
Once I got monetized, I did Robert Chop, DBA, Dr. Harley.
Right.
So when I get my 1099s from YouTube for the monetization, it's, I put it in, my taxes and all that, but I'm me doing DBA, doing business as Dr. Harley.
Right. No, I can cash a check as ball valve. You know what I mean? Like I have secured like certain names and things, just like you guys are saying. I just find it as red tape bureaucracy. That's all.
No,
I
but
find
see,
it as.
y'all did it.
And it's
y'all
fun.
did it
It's
as
just hopping
businesses.
through hoops of bullshit, which I'm so used to by now, right? I think all of us are used to this shit,
Well,
right?
you're hopping on one leg, though.
Yeah, right.
I don't
Yeah,
I had
gotta worry
to,
about
I had
none
to
of
circle
that.
back around to that.
Yep.
I ain't gotta worry about none of that. With the guests that I bring on, the shit they say, I ain't never getting monetized.
Yeah,
I'm
you
the
don't have to
same
worry
way.
about it. Cash
That's
app,
I'm the
good.
same way.
stick to Cash App, homie. You know
Yeah,
what I
Yep.
mean?
dollar dues, baby.
Yeah, dollar dues. Just stick to dollar
Yep.
dues. You be good.
Yeah, you see the
IRS don't
ticker?
care about dollars.
You see
Yep.
the ticker?
Just
I'm
me
not
opening my
monetized either.
mouth gets me into
Yeah.
trouble.
But with that being said, everybody, I really got to hit it. Much love, honor, respect to everybody. Thank you all for watching.
Mike, much love, respect to you,
And
brother.
thank you guys for having me. It was a great time. I got to look. Hold on, real quick before I leave. So hold on.
Hold the door, Mike, because I gotta go too.
I've got 3 of these just empty, right?
I got an empty bottle, Mike.
Hold
Mike.
on.
Mike.
Yeah, you got an empty
this.
bottle. I got, I guess, 3 tall cans and 2 normal beers. But I had like 8 before I came up here. I had like 8 before I came up here, though. So I don't know. It's been a lot. So, anyways, with that being said, everybody,
I don't know.
you guys.
I think a bottle of Jaeger this size.
No,
beats all
you
that.
beat me on the consumption for sure. But
So we can close it
well,
out like
it's
we
like
did
me. I
last
have
time you was
this.
on the show, Mike.
yeah,
This is what I drink.
yep.
This is what I drank first.
You're crazy. But with that being said, I will close this out and hopefully you guys have a great one. Much love, honor, respect, everybody. We'll see you guys on the next one. Much love.
Peace,
You
Mike.
guys have a
Peace.
good one. You know,
man.
You know, and there's something that I'd like to answer. You know, there was a question a while back. Would you die for your brotherhood? Depends. Everybody up here that we have on tonight, you better believe I'll be right there at the last of my breath. Because each and every one of you guys that are on panel right now have earned my trust enough and my respect enough that I would give my last breath defending.
Right on, man. And you know what? It was glad. I am very glad to actually see you face to face. Same thing with Straight Jacket and Frost. You know,
You as well.
I always see you guys in the side chats and all that, and now I finally put a face to the name. Much love, respect to you guys. I mean, seriously, look at your little one there, straight. I mean, it's passing out.
So
he's crazy.
my
know,
the email is right there at the ticker. If anyone is trying to get a hold of us, you would like to be on the show, whatever, let us know. If there's a topic, anything you got on your mind, and you just want to hear about it, we will gladly give our opinions. If you are doing some kind of business, you want something promoted, hit us up. We're here for everything. You need that mental health conversation, just need an ear.
Are strippers real people?
Do what?
Are strippers real people?
Yes.
Yes.
Some.
Shut up. Yes, we are real people.
I don't know. I've seen a few strippers with like 90% plastic, silicone, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So
that's a hybrid. That's what you call
I seen one stripper where her nipples went like this.
and
her ass cheeks were like this.
That's why I said some.
And they're sisters, not twins.
Yep. Hey, I work harder than a ugly strip on welfare daily, so.
Well, it was good kicking it with you fellas. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, man. Right on, man. Appreciate having you.
Hopefully.
Hey, and you know
Dr.
why?
Ali,
Yep.
hit me up on Facebook or Instagram, and let's get you on the show one of these Wednesdays.
Yep.
You hear me?
He's talking to you, Doc.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Sorry, I thought you were talking to the Ghost Eagle because I'm nobody.
Hey, I'm nobody as well.
But I'm going to give everybody a quick little. Okay, I'm going to promote one channel. I'm supposed to be going on Just Us. He's a Australian guy, does live streams and stuff like that. He's a Aussie Special Forces guy. We were talking that this Saturday I'm going to be on his channel, so keep an eye out for that from Just Us.
Well,
All right.
Oh yeah.
hey, you know why Straight Jacket's name Straight Jacket, right?
Probably because he wore quite a few of them, or he needs to.
Well, no, he originally was going to name himself Straight Pull, but all the dancers would be riding him every night.
Wow.
Right on.
Wow, go.
And likewise, if you guys want to get on my channel and we could talk about you, whether it's Frost or Straight,
Well,
Yeah, man. I'm
you know,
down.
hit me
yeah.
up. Hit me up on my email. It's on my YouTube channel. It's easy to find. It's because I put it out there. I don't give a shit. Hit me up. Let me know. We'll get you scheduled. Get you coming on. We talk about you, your channel, your background, and everything, man. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy having guests on over.
Did y'all see that shit?
What shit?
Oh, you got one of them, not
yeah.
the iPhones.
Yeah.
What the fuck? You made me look dumb. Nah. Mike knows all the tricks.
It don't work on straight neck. It's either does it. Don't work on
Hey,
mine. I'd be
what
looking
do
like
bikers and veterans have in common?
We end up homeless a lot.
Structure.
Nope. When they greet each other, it's always the same greeting.
Yep.
Ain't that the truth, though?
So I hope you learned some knowledge today.
Absolutely.
Yep. Hey, and you guys are welcome on my channel anytime. Discuss whatever the fuck you want to discuss. Don't have to worry about being politically correct bullshit. Just be yourselves. We're bikers, not choir boys. We don't sit there and wear suits and ties and sit there and go, oh, golly gee, oh, look, there's a little pebble on the road. We got to go around here.
Right. Now I got to go shopping because if I'm going to show up at Ghost Artist, I'm going to go out, get a shirt and a tie and wear it on the show. Hello, everybody.
But yeah, I'll even wear the only tie that I've got. I've got this really cool skull tie that I'd wear.
With light up Christmas trees. You should see it.
I have a T-shirt I bought for my brother-in-law's wedding. It's a tuxedo T-shirt. I've actually wore on a live.
All right, so check it out. I got married to my wife 2 weeks before going to Afghanistan, right?
Right.
And, she was 18 and I was like barely I was barely 20. And we did the whole courthouse wedding thing. And so one of my best friends from basic training went with me and we went to Spencer's and I went and got a fucking tuxedo T-shirt. And we got married. I was wearing some Jordans, a tuxedo T-shirt, and some Levi's. And she was wearing like some dress, and like like sundress or something. And when I showed up to the courthouse with that, she was fucking pissed.
Dude, you're so
But
nice.
he still has
With the
that shirt.
sundress, I would say, don't let a $8 sundress cost you 18 years of child support.
Yeah, well, we've been married 14 years this year now.
Nice. Now,
Hey,
where were you in
congratulations,
where in Afghanistan were you?
Wardak in Ghazni province.
Okay, gotcha. Right on. Right on.
I was doing route clearance, so every day. Yeah.
Much love, respect to you for that, man. Thank you for your service.
Isn't he
man,
so
appreciate
nice?
it. Yeah, you're gonna get the full rundown on Wednesday night.
Well, Thursday for me.
Yeah, Thursday for you. Yeah, it's quite the story, man. I was in 2010, so this is fucking wild.
9-10, I was in Iraq. 12-13, I was in Tarakau, Afghanistan. 15-16, I spent time in Kandahar, Bagram, and Salerno.
Okay. Yeah, I've been to
Kandahar is hard.
I spent like fucking 3 weeks in Bagram. Before
Disneyland.
I got to. Yeah, Bagram's it was a very interesting place. Especially being counter IED. The mines signs all over the place.
Yep.
It's really fucking hard not to steal those.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So
Actually, I got my wife a certified.
You caught me off guard with that one.
I got my wife when I was in Bagram. I got my wife a certified 3.6 carat black diamond.
Oh yeah, yeah.
nice.
The Bagram gem trade is fucking second to none.
And
Yep.
I brought it home and we had it set for her and I had it appraised. The diamond alone was appraised for like $8,000.
Wow.
That's
Yep.
one of the things that I regret from my deployment is not buying like rugs. Like I bought a nice rug and we used it in the hooch to fucking, you know what I mean? Like it just destroyed it. Like
Bro.
bunch of fucking savages.
Dude, a Desert Storm, right? I
Yep.
went. We were in Saudi Arabia, and I picked up a prayer rug, right? And the guy goes, "Oh, you're gonna use it for prayer?" I said, "No, I'm gonna put it right next to my bunk, put my feet on it."
Fuck yeah.
Now
And
then I
no
spent all my
disrespect
money
to
on
Muslims,
fucking
I didn't know at the time, but there's a thing about putting your feet on their prayer rugs,
yeah. They
and
really pissed off about
you know,
that.
You can
I can
put
tell
your
you,
feet on the rug. You're just supposed to wash them first.
yes,
Okay? You
and
wash before every prayer.
yep. And I did meet a couple locals in Afghanistan that I became very good friends with. And I still talk to
Yep.
via email today.
They're really nice people.
They're
Yep.
awesome people. I mean, I went and had dinner with this guy at his house and his son, his wife and daughter were in the kitchen. That's just their culture. And
Yep.
what really threw me is at the end of dinner, he pulls out a box of Belgian chocolates. Now, the price that he paid for these Belgian chocolates could have fed his family for a month, and he's sharing them with me. And you know, love to Nabi. I hope he watches my show and everything like that, and nothing but respect for him and his family, because he just wants to grow old, raise his family, and die,
Yep.
and play with his grandkids, just like
Well,
every other human being. You know.
they didn't
Yep.
have the type of culture there now back in the 70s. Like the more research I didn't know shit about
Oh, in the
Afghanistan.
70s, Afghanistan was more like the United States.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was everybody was driving fucking Volkswagen Beetles and they're playing fucking Beatles in the street. Yeah.
Yep.
It wasn't until we got a hold of them and somehow instituted a
Well, what
Saudi
happened
based
was
government.
there was a change in leadership or presidency within Afghanistan, and a religious, what we call it, someone who was diehard Muslim got in and put in Muslim law where the
Yeah,
Quran,
Sharia law.
the Quran was referred to for all sentencings of all crimes. Where, you know, after attrition, it was less than 1% of the population who was literate, which was your tribal elder who was literate, who could read the Quran. So how he interpreted it is how you got punished.
Yep.
Well, even right now, it's back to that. They do the Taliban court system. It's like a kangaroo court. But from what I understand, I could be wrong. I got some friends out there still I talk to on the internet, but they prefer it that way because they're at least the Taliban are from the area, and the government has let them down so much. It's kind of like comparing it to the cartel in a way.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
Well,
certain people think that the government is so corrupt that the cartel, I mean, even though they're brutal, you're at least gonna get somewhere with that.
yeah. Well, the native language Afghanistan translation is unconquered. And
That it
over
is.
a millennium, the people of Afghanistan have never been conquered by anybody, whether it was Russia or the United States, two of the major world powers. Never
Yeah,
conquered.
absolutely. That's why
Yep.
empires go to die. And when I
Yep.
was out there, we would patrol. You'd still see like blown up, fucking rusted up Russian tanks on the side of mountains. Like tanks ain't
We
going
would
nowhere.
fly from Tarin Kowt to Kandahar and we
Yeah.
were doing an insertion on the top of a mountain, and I called off the landing because I saw a manned dishka on the side of the mountain.
Mhm.
And I told the pilots, they put it in the GPS coordinates, they called it an AWT team, and they blew it to hell, and then we did the insertion of the troops.
Yep.
I mean, they would like the ANA and the Four Horsemen. They would get into firefights with the Taliban, like in between our convoys. Like we'd be driving, and like they'll like take breaks in between our fucking trucks.
Well, my experience with the ANA was during the day they'd fight with the Blue Force, right? And then at night they were fighting against the Blue Force. It was all depends on who was paying their bills.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, doing what I did, I didn't see any of that, but we did see a whole bunch of dumbassery.
Oh yeah,
look,
Yep.
I
Bohica.
love
I
you,
think we all
bros.
did.
It's
I love you,
Bohica.
bros.
Bend
I
over, here it
appreciate
comes
you
again.
from coming on,
Mhm.
but I am getting ready to hop off here.
Yeah, I
Yep.
gotta go too. We gotta chop it
Mike
up.
said
One
that
of
he
these days.
can't close his out until I get off.
All right. Well,
Okay.
good night,
All right.
everybody. Thanks,
night,
folks,
y'all.
for
Good
having
night,
me on.
everybody. Y'all
No
have a
problem.
good
You're
day.
welcome anytime.
We love
Y'all all
y'all.
have a great one.
Yep.
You too. Later.
Peace.
So, to everybody on here from KSD, I appreciate you. From everybody on from all the other channels, I appreciate you all for coming. It was a pleasure. Thank you to the panel for getting up here. If you haven't already done so, go like, share, subscribe, all the channels mentioned, and we will see you next week.